What's up, freak? Why are you here on Friday, though? Why are you here on Friday? All right, guys. So, all week long we cover topics, celebrities, politics, relationship issues. All week long. On Friday, we let our hair down or put it up and clip our bra, get our drink, get our smoke, and we all chill. We talk about sex and things, right? Every Freaky Friday, we talk about the freaky things. This is adult content on Fridays. So, hi. Thanks for pulling up to another episode of On the Block with Jen. You guys know you can reach me on all social media platforms. That's TikTok, that's YouTube, that is Facebook, that's also Instagram, especially Instagram. On the Block with Jen is always popping on IG. Okay. And if you want to contact me via Gmail for any reason, a topic, to collaborate with myself or one of my panelists, to come up and plan a future show with us, or drop a topic in there you think we would be great to dissect, by all means, on the block with Jen at Gmail. That is where you can collab with me or ask me for an interview or anything else that you're wondering about me, myself, my panelists, or old show or an upcoming show. On the block with Jen at Gmail. You guys are free to cam up any day of the week, especially tonight, if you have things to share, rebut, or contradict. Okay. We just ask that you cam up. We like faces on the block, right? Faces make for better conversations. If you want to support the show, you already know how to keep church lights on with mama. Hit me at Cash App right there, scrolling on the bottom, especially if you want to be discreet, okay, with your gift. A lot of people don't like other people knowing or seeing where their money is going with the super chat. If you don't give a damn, hit me with a super chat. I will pull your comment up on the screen, and myself or one of my panelists will dissect. So you can either support via super chat or Cash App. And thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone who has Cash Apped me. I sent you back a heart. You already know, but I don't blast your name to thank you because I'm thinking it ain't nobody business if you threw it in Cash App. And I appreciate you, okay? All right, guys. So let's get started tonight, Freaking Friday. We're going to kind of freestyle, even though I do have a specific subject I want to cover, okay? Haran threw a good topic at me today via the DMs. And I was like, that's true. Nobody talks about that. And I like talking about things that nobody's freaking talking about, right? Because I hate redundancy. I try to bring you guys as much variety as possible with a different spin, right? So tonight's going to be a Freaky Friday Q&A. I have a list of questions that I may or may not answer. I may ask you guys to answer, but we shall see how it goes tonight. FYI, Lily is taking care of a little business, so she won't be joining us tonight, but I'm sure she'll be here tomorrow, okay? So don't fret. Do not fret. Let me bring up me hen there. Haran DeMarco, how are you, darling?
What's up?
What's up? How are you? How am I thirsty?
How you feeling? You all right?
I'm good. I'm ready to get it popping.
All right.
I'm peachy. I am peachy, like the ladies in Atlanta. I am peachy. Why is it in Atlanta every street is named Peach Street? It's crazy. Peach Street, Peach Avenue, Peach Drive, Peach. Yeah, there's a lot of streets. I wish Lily was here to confirm, but when I went to Atlanta many, many moons ago, there are a lot of streets named after peach or peaches. I'm like, we get it. You guys grow peaches. Calm down, relax.
Well, it's also synonymous with ass down there, so I guess it kind of just.
Oh my God! It came back full circle then.
Right, it just kind of all intertwined.
I'm like, if you want to go where the big asses are, it's at, what is it, Atlanta or Atlanta and Texas, right? I believe.
Atlanta, Texas, and Florida.
Atlanta and Texas. But the thing is that now in Atlanta, it's crazy because it was known for big asses, same as Texas, but now everybody, they made those asses even bigger. So now it's like the supersized ass state, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you know what I mean, fast food restaurants. It's like getting a huge ass fucking Slurpee. And when you get a big ass fucking Slurpee, that shit ain't gonna do nothing but make you go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? So after a while, an ass that big is just like, it just has to be for show. Like, well, it's just come on. Like, that's not even.
So since this Freaky Friday, I see a couple of guys are DMing me. The link is in the chat. Just pull up and click the link, please, darlings, because then I can't leave this screen to go to that screen to send an email. So if you can hear me, the link is in the chat. So just click it and come on board. So let me ask you a question since it's Freaky Friday. Okay, the big asses. You said after a while it's just for show. Yay or nay, do men eventually get tired of the big ass? Does it come redundant? Does it become redundant? Like you get, let's say you get with a girl, she has a huge ass. You're like, yo, that was part of the appeal. Now you're with this girl 2-3 years down the line. Every time you see her, is it like, yo, still, or are you used to it? Like
No,
it's an ass.
no, no, no. I mean, men are like that. Men are like that with any woman, regardless of how she's built. I'm serious. I'm gonna give you the game. Like, man, after a while, the new car smell wears off. It's like, oh yeah.
Oh.
Don't you know that? Did you hear? Don't you know the saying? No matter how great looking she is, there's some man out there in the world who's sick of her shit.
Yes, I've heard. I've
So,
heard.
so no matter how incredible that body is, how amazing she looks, after a while, it's like, eh, eh,
I don't know.
eh.
We got Mr.
but
Justin. We
but
got Mr. Justin. Maybe we can ask him as well.
but for some strange reason, when you break up, you don't see him for a long time. For some strange reason, that shit just all comes back.
Oh yeah.
I'm speaking. I'm
hang on. Let me
speaking
mute
from
the stream.
experiences. You know
There
what I
we
mean?
go.
Oh yeah. They look so much better when you break up with them, don't
Right,
they?
exactly. Yes, they really do. You know, for some strange reason, the new car smell comes back. I don't know what it is.
Welcome,
Well,
Mr.
distance.
Justin.
Welcome to me, and nice to see everybody this evening.
Yay.
What's going on, Justin? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Haran?
Yeah.
All right.
I have my water. So I was just asking, we were talking, you came right in on the asses. I wanted to I'll ask you, and No Saint. Hola, No Saint.
Hola.
Those things.
So I was just asking Haran, but No Saint and Mr. Justin, what is your favorite feature on a woman's body where you know she walks in, you're just like, damn. It's not asses, is it?
Well, are we talking like you're talking about body parts? You're not talking
I'm talking about body parts, just physical. She walks in, she has those things you like. Is it boobs? Is it butt? Is it legs? Is it arms? Is it a neck? Like, what about a woman just drives you crazy when she just walks in? You don't know her name. You don't know her voice. You have no idea.
Yeah, it's a butt.
But so you're a butt man too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you like her, Mr. Justin.
There's things that I can appreciate, but there's nothing on a woman's body that drives me crazy.
That's different. Okay,
That's
Mr. Justin, always in control, baby. I like nothing wrong with that.
And I wanted to answer because I had to jump in. I was taking my time, but when I heard you ask Haran, I didn't hear his answer. But no, it doesn't get old.
Oh,
Not to me.
okay. That's interesting. I think I'm a bit of that myself. If I'm dating a man who one of the reasons why I'm attracted to him and with him is because one of those body parts, then it doesn't get old to me. It's always like a little treat when I see him, right? Depending on what he wears. But if that's one of the reasons why I got with him, because it's like, okay, I'm a booty girl. I like the nice thick legs. You know, I'm into the whole Centaurs and Venom and darkness and all of that. So if he resembles one of those type of people to me, then it's always a treat to me when he's walking around.
Did you say centaurs?
Yes.
Like half man, half horse.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I think they're sexy as fuck. Listen, and this isn't some adulthood fetish. This is from when I was a wee little girl. I saw a centaur and I was like, what a perfect man. This is a perfect man. And I even like how they stand. They always draw them very like, you know what I mean? With the back arched and it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what it is. Something about a centaur. Sorry, it's Freaky Friday.
No. For a person who loves centaurs, let me ask you this. If a centaur were to wear pants, how would it look? Would the pants be like as if he was wearing normal pants and go up just on the two front legs? Or would they have this really wide waist and cover just the horse's legs going down?
Okay, look, if a centaur was wearing pants, it'd kill the fantasy for me. Like it'd kill everything. Like now he's something else. Now he's like a Disney character that kills everything. He has to be like, have the nice horse coat and that's it. I've never pictured a centaur in pants. Thank you, Mr. Justin.
Hey,
mean,
you know, they might go to a
logistically, that
nice
would have
place
to
where
look
they say
ridiculous.
you can only wear pants if you enter this restaurant. You know, I don't care if you're a Centaur.
Now we're going to the restaurant. This is yeah, I have to write this shit. I swear.
You know, like there's restaurants that won't let you in if you don't have a jacket, like that sort of thing. You need pants. You need pants.
I have to. My Centaur is going to need pants to go into to roof.
I think it's going to be the pants that go all the way across the bottom of the horse to cover all four legs. I think that's proper Centaur pants.
I think those, because the half ones would make them look kind of corny. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. I have to cover the whole bottom.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday, y'all.
It's crazy, you know. Like the fetishes. I'm not saying Centaurian. Is that what you said? Centaurian. I'm not saying that's a Centaur. Mm-hmm. But how about the Bronies?
What is that?
What's a brony?
Oh my God! You haven't heard the Bronies? They're the My Little Ponies. They love the way it's a fetish.
Mm-hmm.
It's a My Little Pony fetish.
Yes, for guys.
What?
Yeah. Oh, she's got beautiful eyes, and they fall in love with it, and they're called Bronies. They have BronyCon.
Holy
strange.
Fuck!
Well, you know, I'm not surprised by that because there's guys who fall in love with like anime characters.
Right.
They literally consider a character to be their girlfriend.
But that's kind of human.
Right. Yeah, this isn't a cartoon horse that can talk.
True.
Right.
Yeah, I know, Jen, you might be Googling that right now.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Googling the Bronies because I've never heard of Bronies. The pictures are interesting.
Is it called BronyCon?
It's Bronies. I'm looking at something that says Bronies versus furries.
Yeah, the BronyCon is like, you know, like Comic-Con. They have like conventions and they go there and, you know.
That shit's wild.
Right. But, okay, so let me ask this because I know, I guess the Bronies is Freaky Friday. Let's talk about it. We're here. We pulled up. We're here.
All right.
So the furries, I know what the furries are. The Bronies seem like it's something similar, but what part of it is the fetish? Are these people, does anyone know? I don't know. Do these people like having sex with the furry or the My Little Pony character? Like, is there a hole in the costume or is it just they like running around with these characters? Because that's different.
Well, listen, I've heard some of them interviewed and they actually are like, they have their favorite Brony, My Little Pony or whatever, and a lot of times there's a sexual overtone to it. Now, I mean, maybe that's what they get off to on, you know, when they're at night alone. Maybe they're thinking about these different My Little Ponies. I don't know if there's actually somebody dressed up as one and they're
well, there actually is a 2012 documentary called Bronies: The Extremely Unexpected Adult Fans of My Little Pony. Yep, it was.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to see that.
Centering on Bronies, the adult fans of the 2010 anime. Just so I guess it's specific to 2010. The adult fans of the 2010 animated television series My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. The film, funded through the crowdsourcing via Kickstarter, was originally envisioned to follow voice actor and executive producer John Delancey to the 2012 summer BronyCon in New Jersey, of all places. The project raised much more than anticipated, allowing it to grow in scope to bring on Lauren Faust, Friendship is Magic's original creator, and Tara Strong, a principal voice actress on the show, as executive producers, and to include additional convention footage from the European conventions. Holy crap.
Oh my goodness. So I'm just out of curiosity. I'm like, let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes. I Googled Centaur fetish, and of course there's information on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a fetish for just about anything.
Yeah. And I never looked at it as a fetish. Like, I don't have pictures hanging on my wall. I just thought it was the most beautiful looking creature to me.
Well, you probably don't have a fetish. I mean, a fetish is something that you need in order to have sexual pleasure.
No.
So no. If you're having sex, like, you have to be dreaming about centaurs while you're having sex in order to have an orgasm. That's a fetish.
Damn.
No, but I'd probably try it once if a centaur was real. If he was real, but he's not real. But I would try. No, but I don't get off. I just think it's a beautiful, like, you know what I mean, being thing or whatever it is, right? All right. This is how we start on Freaky Friday. Yes, this is how we're starting Freaky Friday. So Haran said something interesting to me. You know, we discuss topics all the time, just to have stuff. What's up, Mr. Reckless? And well, you go over, Haran, you bring up the way you said it.
I asked you and Lily, basically, as you get older, as women get older, what is more important to you, love or sex? And I believe Lily said sex, and I think you said sex.
I didn't answer. I was raising my eyebrow.
Okay,
like,
yeah, you didn't answer. Right. You know,
I was like,
so
I
was
like the
wondering.
topic.
So I was basically asking that.
Okay, so let's pull up really quickly Miss Cher and her new boyfriend. Okay, so Cher is 76.
I haven't seen Cher in a while. She's looking her age now a little bit.
Yeah. She's 76.
You can see it under the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oof.
And the boyfriend is 36. So she is not 20, not 30. She is 40 years older than her husband. I mean, I'm sorry, her boyfriend. The reason why I connected it to why it made me think of it when Haran said that is because a lot of people are tweeting to Cher now. Oh my God, we're so worried about you. Be careful. Like he probably wants you for your money. And then Cher, in Cher fashion, you know what I mean, responded, I wasn't born yesterday.
Right. Of course not. And at 72,
Literally.
I think a lot of people get to like, I don't give a shit anymore about anything.
Right.
I think the not giving a fuck just grows the older you get. So that's how, like she's a millionaire. She's 72 years old. She's seen the world. She's done like tons of things. She's made an impact on the world. It's like whatever. Like this guy wants to hang out with me. Fine. Like he wants some of my money. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah. She doesn't care. She wants to have fun.
Right. And why not run around with a 36-year-old?
Of course.
They were over here worried about her $150 million fortune. I'm like, why?
They were like, Cher, please be careful. And she said, I wasn't born yesterday.
I mean, I think it's the older, you know, when you're young, you have this attitude, she's just with him for the money. When you see like, what's her name? Oh, what was that model?
Oh, that blonde bombshell with that really old guy?
Yeah, with the billionaire.
Anna Nicole Smith. Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, man. I've never been one for crushes, but when I was in high school, I had a crush on her. I was like, holy shit. Oh,
she was gorge. I used to collect those Guess magazine. I ripped them out of magazines and kept them like
amazing.
But
she was fabulous.
So, but the more you get, the more you realize, like, these people aren't dumb, and they're each getting something out of the relationship. Like, okay, the guy's getting to probably it's opening doors that he's never, would never be able to open. That's his payoff. And her payoff is she gets to be with a young guy that, looks good. And I don't see anything wrong with any kind of relationship like that, as long as they're upfront and they're not being like these people on Scamfish that I watch that believe these young people actually like them for them, these people getting scammed. But so what's the problem? So why does Cher have to be careful? I mean, she's not going to, like you said yesterday, she's not going to get buried with that money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she's 70. Her mom recently died. She's 76. Like, how much more time does Cher have?
I saw this commercial recently. Exactly. I don't know if you guys saw it, where it's a takeoff of that, where this lady's got like some kind of internet speed cable, gigabytes, and she's a gigillionaire, and there's this dude with his shirt off in the background with the VR glasses, and the son and the daughter are talking to my mom. He's only been around since you became a gigillionaire. And she's like, why do you think I became a gigillionaire?
Hello. That right there. Hello. Do you think that men and women date a lot younger for the same reasons or for different reasons?
I can only speak individually. I'll go up and down depending on, you know what I mean, how I'm feeling about the woman. It doesn't really matter to me. However, I was just talking to a friend of mine about this shit. The age gap kind of shows itself when certain cultural things show up. You know what I mean, age wise. Like I remember being in the car. I remember being in the car and shit, and I'm in the car with a 24-year-old, and I started playing Mobb Deep, and then I'm playing Shook Ones, and I'm just up in it in the whole nine. And then I turned over, and she had this look of shock and fear in her face. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, nah, this is, you know. And she's a good girl. She's from a 2-parent home. You know what I mean? I'm some only kid from the fucking hood. You know what I mean? It was in that moment I was reminded of the gap.
Yeah,
you know,
and the perception of the gap.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
is a huge thing.
You know, certain times. Yeah, exactly. So certain times, you know, it just depends. It just depends. But you do have to keep in mind there are certain, as Justin was saying, you know what I mean, those gaps or the perception of it will show up whether she's older or younger.
Yeah. I dated a 19-year-old, and
how old are you?
Oh boy, was I 39? Yeah, and it wasn't the biggest. The biggest problem was one, the perception, the weird social perception, because people would look and it was enough where they would say, "Is that his daughter?" Right? Because on top of her being young, she had like the Michael J. Fox thing going on, where she just like was perpetually. I see her today, and she still looks the same age. She's gonna look like young and like just barely pubescent for the rest of her life. That's just the way she is.
Tiny? Is she tiny?
Super tiny. Super.
I noticed little tiny. People, like little. I don't mean like.
But also, just her features are
okay.
all. Her features are all softened out. Like she just has very very minimal features. So you like she doesn't have like bones, a strong jaw, just like everything's like very soft. So you combine that with being small and thin, and you're like, okay, yeah, like she still gets carded, no matter what. She just gets carded. So the perception was very strange. She was aware of it. I was aware of it, and would only like hold my hand in public for, you know, when no one was around, basically, because But the draw, you know, it was because of being so new. I was this very experienced person. She was not. There was some excitement there, and frankly, I mean, I could like toss her around with one hand. She's just super light and tiny, right? So there was some fun to it. However, it dawned on me. I had an awakening moment, where it was with music, and I put on some music, you know, to set the vibe, and I put on some Grant Green, and she's like, "What's this?" And it hit me, and I'm like, the audacity to say, "What's this?" to Grant Green. But then also a wake-up call, like, oh, she would have no idea who Grant Green is. Of course she doesn't, right? It's beyond her time unless she's like really into music, right? And I'm like, okay, this has got to stop. Like, you don't know who Grant Green is.
That's the deal breaker, buddy.
How old is she?
How old is she now? Well, I mean, was it? So 6 years. So she's what, 25?
Okay.
20 or 26, something like that.
Because I was that person that always looked younger. Still today, I look younger than my real age. When I was 21, when I was 25, I was getting caught. It used to piss me off. And I remember one manager told me, "You'll like this one," because he was the same way. He said, "Yeah, it sucks now, but you'll like it when you get older." And when at work, people still, you know, I used to lie just to not have to have a big, you know, you say, yeah, I'm 45 or 40 or whatever, you know, but still today at work, they like, oh, I forgot, he's like 50, he's gonna be 53, man. You know, but I was that anyway, that I just yeah, this was, you reminded me of that when you told me how she looked, you know.
That was dope. You listen to Grant Green though. That's dope. The guitarist, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but there is that, like everybody's saying, that is crazy. Like I find that talking to people that I work with today, not necessarily a woman. I mean, just because I work with a lot of guys, but there is that, the older you get, the more you start realizing, oh man, I remember when my dad used to talk about said athlete, and I'd be like, who the hell is that? And I'm thinking, it seems like it was just yesterday when this person was playing, but to them, this person doesn't even exist. Just like in music, the same thing. But to answer your question, Jen, I think, it's kind of hard to say. I think older women are dating the younger men probably for the same reason older men are dating the younger women. I think there may be a shift there because I don't, especially the wealthier women.
You think? Because this is what I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm not a man. I'm not a man, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Why I would date a younger guy is because I have a lot of life in me and a lot of things I'm like to run up and go do seems like a huge task for men my age. There's always some excuse or something else they'd rather be doing. And I like doing a lot of like fun shit, like fun shit. Right. Yes, I like the jazz lounge and the cigar bars. Right. And you know what I mean? I like that too. But then I also like, hey, let's go bungee jumping, let's go skinny dipping, let's go. And men that are my age are more like, whoa, hey, they start thinking of what can go wrong and why that's not possible. And I don't like that. I don't like I don't like like, you know what I mean? Like rules. And it's like, who gives a fuck what can go wrong? Let's just fucking go. Right. Or, the bad knees and the bad backs. And so that's why I would date younger, because it's easier to get up and go with someone that's younger. And I do get tired of, even though I'm not dating presently, but when I was like, guys would be like, hey, and I would start talking to them, let's do this, let's do that. There was always a fucking excuse. And I'm like, why did you even contact me then? I don't want to go fishing. I don't want to go fishing. There was this one guy who literally, no joke, wanted to take me fucking fishing. Every time we hung out, I'm like, I don't want to go fishing. It's not, you know what I mean?
That's fine. And
what's his number? I want to go fishing.
Right. So, but I think that men target young women because the tight little bodies and the perky titties because what else could it be? Because older men don't want to run around with her.
No, but wait,
and do what she wants to do.
That's exactly. But you're talking about you. I'm talking about Cher and these older women with money. I don't think Cher is looking to bungee jump either.
No, I mean, she's 72.
She's 70. She's 76.
76.
Yeah. I don't think she's going to
try that shit. Our hip will fall out. Literally.
But wait. But Cher is the exaggeration. I'm talking about a woman that's in her 40s dating 20-somethings.
Well, that's different. But but I'll get back to that. But what I think is interesting for myself personally is I can kind of see like the young 33-year-old that Cher's dating. If I were 33, 34, 35, or even now at my age, like the allure, like Barbara Eden, like she's in her 80s. I'm not gonna say if she graced me with her presence that I wouldn't be with her because of she's Barbara Eden. That was Jeannie back in.
She's still alive? Is Barbara Eden still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I have no idea what she looks like now because I know like after a certain age they
don't look like Jeannie.
No. But she was looking good for a long time.
And if she tried that blink thing, she'd probably just fall asleep.
No. I did see her recently because they were talking about it and she did a blink like you're talking. She still looks not bad. I mean, I'm sure she's got some work done, but I think because they're famous. Like I wouldn't just go with any 80 something, but because it's genius.
But back to the question, Saint. I don't think older men are dating younger because they want someone who's going to keep up with them and have fun and shit. I just think tight little body, young face, young, you know what I mean?
On your arm
and there's also the mental aspect, right? So a very young woman, she doesn't give a shit about a lot of things, right? She likes to have fun. She likes to go on adventures. She likes variety. She wants to play, right? she's not going to really worry too much about anything going on in your life. She's not going to have anything to say about how you see the world. She's not really going to have to say about anything. She doesn't care. And that is so refreshing. Like,
what's
it's not that
funny
she
about
doesn't
that?
have a mind. She doesn't care about sharing it. She doesn't care. She just wants to have fun.
Really
I'm there now.
Statement? This is the point. With women, first of all, Justin is making a strong point. But when women get older, depending on the age, they revert back to that thinking. So there's something that goes on in the middle. You know what I mean? Where shit just gets fucked up.
Yes.
Where it's just like you guys start talking some wild shit, and then you get a certain age, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're fun again. All right, yeah, cool. This is you're fun again.
Yep.
You know,
because I'm right there. Like if I when I start dating, I don't want to know about your children. I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear about your financial problems. Don't bring that shit to me. We shouldn't have been on this date. If you got money problems, why are we here? I don't want to hear about it. I don't, you know how I feel about, I'm not going to talk life into you. And I'm not your mother. I'm not your mother. Okay. I'm not a surrogate baby mama, or I don't. So it's like, I feel the same way. Like, are we going to have fun? What are we doing? We're alive. Let's go. I don't want to hear about your issues. Get married. Get married if you want somebody to, cry to. I don't want to meet your mother. Don't want to meet your mother. I don't care. I don't care whether or not your mother would like me or not.
40s and 50s, that's the thing that I'm seeing. And like,
okay,
20s,
and I'll add to that.
There's something that happens in the 30s where it's just like, whoa, I don't like this.
Very solidified, opinionated. And I would say that a lot of times it comes from not getting what they want and coming to a realization that the dreams that they had for so many years are just dreams and fantasies, and they don't line up with reality. Yes. And so a lot of like their own perspectives and a lot of layers of like mental constructions to sometimes prevent frustration, pain, and anger dealing with that realization. So there's a lot of justifications, and I just thought like, oh, things are supposed to be like this. And guys typically just don't give a shit to hear about that. Like, we don't want to have a debate. We don't want to have a philosophical discussion about any of that nonsense. And we really don't care where you stand on it. Right. Like, I really don't. I'm more concerned with, can you do what I want and need you to do? That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I didn't lose my train of thought here.
Well, we were talking about the age thing and the 42, 40s, like not giving a shit. Maybe that's
now I get it. So I think part of it, and Jen, this is perfect for what you were saying, is that a lot of times women sacrifice a lot, especially if they have children, and then your child. And a lot of times women have children younger. Some, I know the age is creeping up, but so you're done with children. There are guys like me who are still in it.
Yes.
So we don't have the freedom. Like, listen, the way I was before I had kids to now is totally different. The way once my kids get up and going, I'm going to be different, because I'm going to be looking for like, okay, I'm done. But the problem is for, in your age bracket right now is a lot of men still have the kids. And they
listen. No, saying I'm 49, right? I'll be 50 this year. I'm still, meeting guys who have fucking 12 and 13-year-olds. Fucking how? When did you start, buddy? What the fuck? I don't want 12 and 13. It's cringy. I don't, and here's the thing. Great. If he or she lives with the mom, you know what I'm saying? Great. But I'm like, I don't want, and then I feel bad because I'm like, I don't want to know I don't care about junior soccer league.
Yeah.
Because I'm done with it. My daughter is going to be 30.
Wow. Well, the difference is, right? The difference is experience. So there is both a not give a shit attitude, right? You just want to have fun. Totally get that. the difference is experience and exposure, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 19-year-old that I was with, she didn't give a shit, but it was sided with naivety, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are far from naive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got
Mm-hmm.
so much knowledge to the point now you don't give a shit. She
Right.
didn't give a shit because she didn't have knowledge, right? So
Got it.
they're sister feelings, right? But they're not
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same.
Got it. Thank you for the super chat, Don Lavon. Don Lavon says, like Chris Rock said, men date younger women because they are cheaper. And I'll still smash Sophia Loren at 88 years old. Oh, Sophia is a gorgeous woman, a gorgeous older woman as well. Yeah, so that's my thing. Like, I'm like, you have a what? A 12-year-old, great, but I'm noticing that a lot of men don't have children. Like a couple of my friends, like they don't have any children. I'm meeting some guys that is like, I don't have any kids. I'm like, really? How'd you escape that? And you're like in your 40s. That's just, it's pretty bomb. It's pretty cool. I guess because one of my friends was like, I'm already at this age. Why bother now? And he's mid 40s. He's like, why am I going to bother now? In my mid 40s. I was like, hey.
Yeah, I'm just having one kid. I'm not having any other kids, man.
No
I'm
more?
done.
You don't want to do it again?
No, we're good.
Listen, I know dudes in their 50s that are still doing that stupid shit. I'm like,
we need
insane.
people to pay Social Security, so don't be advocating here for no kids.
You know what I mean?
Like, listen, ridiculous.
Plus, I don't want another woman's hands in my pockets.
Yeah, I get
Someone said midlife crisis. I don't think it's a crisis. I think it has a lot to do with what Haran and Justin said, where it's like in that middle age, right? You just come to the realization where it's like, who the fuck blew smoke up my ass about marriage? And who did this shit? Who did this? And then you grow out of it. And for me, I realized that I was like, who am I? What do I want without the tradition of marriage and the picket fence and religion? Who am I? What do I want? How do I want to have sex? What kind of fun do I want to have? How do I want to raise this child? Where do I want to work? Without the tradition of, you're born, you go to school, you get a job, you get a 401k, you retire, you die, right? Without all of that. Who am I? What do I want?
Yeah, no, it's a great question.
One second. In these swinger communities, for instance, I know there's probably, if people aren't really familiar with that community, I know there's probably this perception that there's nothing but young, beautiful ingenues just falling all over the walls and shit like that. There's a lot of older women in this shit. Okay? There's a lot of older women in this shit. There's young women too, but there's a lot of older women in this shit. Women in their 40s and so on and so forth, because they are in fuck it and I will fuck everything mode. You know what I mean? And, they got their guy, they're on board with it. And these women have reached a state in their life where they say, this is me. And they say, fuck this shit.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna beat up Don Lavon. Don Lavon, he's always like itching for. I think he comes here to try to get beat. This is an interesting stat. Over 40% of Black men don't have kids. That's shocking. I mean, jaw dropping, shocking. Okay, that's one thing. He said most older women have a lot of trauma, and I heard they had worms and cooties. Well, I tell you this, the older women of now, of my generation, I guarantee something that you guys cringe about have a lower body count than 20 and 30-year-olds you're going to be meeting, because the girls that are coming after us, they are free as fuck.
Yeah.
They are sexually fluid. They give zero fuck. They're not about, you're not going to shame them or name call them into submission. These girls are different. These girls are different. So go ahead, shoot your shot, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah. Just real quick before I make a point about what you were saying about the picket fence and the marriage and all, like, where did you get this shit? I just want to shout out to my girl right now, because I know she's watching and she has to go to sleep soon. So I'm going to tell her to go to bed in 10 minutes. So the thing about the marriage thing. What's up, baby? So So the thing about the like the marriage and the cultural thing and all those things, they have to do that, right? And they with like a capital T, right? I don't know where it comes from, but I'm not talking like Illuminati stuff or whatever, but our economy literally depends on it.
Yes.
It depends on people believing in the nuclear family and all the stuff that comes of that, and in the pursuit of women, right? Guys get gym memberships because of women. Guys buy because of women. They buy cologne because of women. They travel mostly because of women. They basically, like, anything that the average man does or buys or says or consumes has to do with women in one way or another.
Yeah.
And this feeds the economy, right? So the economy is highly dependent, and basically the structure of our society is needs a functioning economy. So in order for our society to function, we need men who are asleep and are easily programmable and easily put into a consumer mode, right? That's and it's necessary, and it's getting easier and easier because the social voice is shifting to making them more and more emotional. The more emotional you are, the more susceptible you are to suggestion, right?
Oh, is that what's happening on the social media? Because I can't take these emotional dudes.
It's everywhere on social media. It's in movies. It's in TV. It's on commercials, and it's this slow saturation. Okay. And now you see products, makeup products made for men, geared towards men, advertised towards men. Okay. Like hair dye, skin treatments, pore treatments, like all this stuff that was marketed towards women for decades is now being marketed towards men. So men are becoming more self-conscious. They're becoming more self-aware of like how they show up. And they're becoming more aware of judgments and the fear of being judged. And that all started with the like culture from Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this person liked this, the person liked that. And it just grew and grew and grew to the point of like followers, how many view counts and things like that. So it's the consciousness is now shifted, where you have this consciousness in this reality, and then we have this consciousness over here in this online reality, right? Where people are judging it, they're leaving their mark of value, right? And that has an effect on the self-esteem. So all of that stuff makes you very susceptible to manipulation. And through manipulation, they can make you buy things, they can make you do things, they can make you choose things, they can make you think things. And it just leads to a more obedient society through their emotions, right? Because what's the most dangerous person on the planet? A stoic man who thinks for himself.
Yeah.
It's the most dangerous man on the planet thing on the planet, because they can't be affected. You cannot make them do something that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Now you see. Now 1 second though. Now, did you just hear what he just said? I remember that time when I was telling y'all, like, the kind of guy that I am, if I saw a fucking guy crying in fucking public and behaving emotional and in touch with his feelings, how weird I would think that shit is. You know what I mean? Y'all looked at me like, oh, you're not emotionally available. You're not. You
whatever,
need to
Don.
grow. You need to grow. And I'm like, no, I don't. No, because that shit is weird. And there's certain things about men that, as men, you should keep in your space and you should move in a particular way. And Jen, I explained to you that a lot of this deals with. I feel that this was an agenda to lower the testosterone levels of men.
Okay.
And you got these men out here eating soy, drinking almond milk. You know what I mean? Not eating meat, sharing their feelings. You know what I mean? Doing all, eating ice cream after a breakup, all this other shit, arguing with women. You know what I mean? Doing all these things that
dude, going onto TikTok with tons of viewers and crying live.
Exactly.
For people to see, it's like, what are you doing? What
exactly?
What the fuck are you doing?
And you wonder why this guy's in the chat arguing with some chick like a mean girl. You know what I mean? I keep telling people, men aren't supposed to be doing certain things. I really don't give a fuck.
Well, look at how the say, like, this country, or basically any country, was built before it had infrastructure. It was very difficult children died. I mean, like, I go back to my great grandparents. Okay, they were going through Russia, Ukraine. They were Jewish, and they were trying to escape the Gestapo. Okay, during that time, they had, I think, like 6 or 8 children. They had some money, right? And they were like upper middle class for that time, and they used it all to bribe and barter their way to the coast to get onto a boat to try to get to New York City. Okay, by the time they got to the coast, they had 2 children left. Do you realize what kind of fucking strength that requires? Right?
Absolutely.
Think about building a nation, right? You come here, there's fucking nothing. You have to build a home from scratch with fucking wood and axes and shit. You know what I mean? There's people, the natives, I mean, rightfully so, they're trying to kill you. They're trying to kill your family. You're trying to kill them. There's warfare. People are getting sick. You have to grow your own fucking food. The emotionality of guys these days is because we've created a very comfortable society.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so back then, when there was struggle and strife, there's no room for you to get emotional, right?
No,
you had to remain stoic, because if you stopped to worry and get sad and all that shit, your children died.
Dead man.
Your wife died, and you died. Your livestock died. Everybody fucking dies.
No, listen. I mean, I agree with you, and I've said this many times, maybe on this platform, but in life, I've said this, that if the world, if all these preppers and everything, if the world collapses and we all, like people imagine it, in the movies, which I don't think it would be like that, but if it did, and everything was just, you got to go get your own food, dude, I'm hitting the first bridge and jumping off, dude. I don't want to live in that world. That world sucked. You're right. The world is a lot easier, and some of us, and I'll be the first one to admit, not built for the world that 400 years ago. Maybe I would be if I grew up in that world. Maybe I would be if I grew up in that world. But I would not want to live like that. But I will say this. So I don't think anyone would want to. You're right, though. You're right, though. Like, let's just say I use Haran as an example. He grew up in a different kind of climate than me. So we have different experiences. I'm not saying this is how it is, but maybe he grew up where he couldn't show those emotions because he'd be singled out as weak. All I'm saying is crying is a natural emotion. It's not something, and I don't cry. I barely cry, but I'm just saying, I'm not embarrassed that I've cried before in front of somebody, because that's just a human emotion, right? But to your point, and to Haran, you're in the neighborhood or whatever. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? If it was going to mean I was singled out and it was going to cost me, or I didn't have time, but if you look back, like even after World War I, this is sort of taking a little bit different area, but in World War I, with people had what they called shell shock, which is really PTSD. Man, people didn't know how to handle that back. Those people were broken. So as tough as they were still human and were broken. Because you're not meant to take that trauma, right? Well, so I think crying is a way to release. But we can't
we can't be that in the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like those young men, they had to just face that fear, push the emotions aside, and do what needed to be done for the job. They had to do the job, because like guys kind of cringe when we see that. Well, like I guess older guys, and because we understand that as a form of weakness. Now, it's not to say that that emotions make you weak. It's a symbol of instability. Okay. When your emotions are fluctuating all over the place, you're happy, you're sad, you're in despair, you're angry. It shows that there isn't groundedness, right? And when things are unstable, how does it make other people feel? It makes them feel unstable. It makes them feel unsafe. It makes them feel ungrounded, right?
Yes.
So that's where a lot of women today are having frustrations with guys, because they're just as emotional, if not more emotional than they are. So the guys get frustrated. They start, bitching and complaining. They're angry. They have hair triggers. They're crying on fucking social media. And the women look at them and say, Well, that doesn't feel fucking safe. That doesn't feel predictable. That doesn't feel comfortable. I'm not going over there. That's like sitting down in a chair and it feels like it might fall apart if you shift the wrong way. Like you're just, you know what? I'm going to sit on the floor.
I got you.
Let me tell you something, man. I tell people all the time. All right, I don't pay attention to a lot of these ideas, and I don't really argue with women that much. I don't pay attention to a lot of these ideas that I see online, and especially these male feminist ideas or feminist ideas, period. Because let me tell you something: in times of crisis, everybody knows what a man is and what a man isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what a man is when it's time to punch somebody in the fucking face, or when it's time to pay a bill. Everybody's real clear on what a man is or isn't. Taking into account the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, I didn't see a lot of that feminist shit being thrown around. There were a lot of scared women out here looking for a companion.
Yep.
There were a lot of scared women who ran to a fucking companion. Because why? Because it was because people were being introduced to uncertainty. And when uncertainty happens, your body and your mind kicks into your natural biological imperative. A woman's natural biological imperative is estrogen. Estrogen is going to tell her, go and find someone strong, go and find someone, be softer, go and find a protector. Testosterone is going to tell that man to buck up, get stronger, and anyone around you who appears weak, protect them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I did see that happen during the pandemic, and I saw a lot of guys fall to the wayside. Shit, I saw some guys looking for help. But anyway, the point here is that I'm making is this. I'll give you a story, true story. It happened a couple of days ago. I was sitting down here on the couch, and the maintenance man, he accidentally, he was trying to get into a unit, and he accidentally opened my back door. I didn't know it was the maintenance man. I just literally saw the fucking back door open. I literally jumped the fuck up and said, "Yo!" And then the maintenance, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, this maintenance, blah blah blah." Now, in that moment, I reminded myself that at that point in crisis, my mind is like, it's go time. It might be go time. I might have to protect myself tonight. Something's gonna happen. Now, if I'm some sniveling, emotional, pink bunny hat wearing fucking feminist, I'd have been fooled that night if I was an actual intruder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was ready in that moment to be like, okay, whatever happens right now is just gonna happen. But luckily for him, you know what I mean? He announced himself as I announced himself, and he was out the fucking back door. But the point of the matter is this: when you're a man, you have to be prepared to protect your loved ones and protect yourself at a moment's notice, man. And I tell people all the time, I make a joke, but I'm dead serious. I go to the gym to fight and fuck. Well, so I know how to fight and fuck well, meaning that I can protect myself, I can protect my loved one, and I can satisfy my fucking woman. You know what I mean? I can perform, you know what I mean, in that space. But the point of the matter is this, man. I'm just not. This is what I have a problem with when it comes to the manosphere. There's not enough discussion about building yourself. There's way too much discussion about worrying about what a woman thinks of you. Look, as a man, if you think highly of yourself, it's going to leap out of your skin, and then a woman is going to want to latch on to that.
That's right.
But this concept of you have to become this and you have to become that because this is what she latches onto. This is what man. Fuck that, man. That's too much fucking work. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Go
ahead.
No, I wanted to bring up what Justin was talking about earlier too about the consumerism and I was gonna say this, and I wish Jen was here to hear it, but religion, what religion
where did
does,
Jen go?
Yes, you had to call.
I have no clue.
But what religion, the same as religion, we are brought up, brainwashed into thinking that marriage, and the kids, the house, the 401, we are brainwashed. And then you get older and you realize you don't have to do it exactly that way. But what I wanted to say was, there's what is it, the number? 2.5 kids. You're supposed to have 2.5 kids to replace and to be able to support the next generation. So you're absolutely right that they're trying to program, because if they don't, you're going to have what's going to happen in China, which is a decline in population with an
Japan as well.
With the older generation. We have immigration. You got Germany in trouble, Italy in trouble, Japan in trouble, China in trouble, because they're not replacing enough people to support the golden generation right now. That is the reason why China has had an explosion in their economy. So yeah, they're trying to make sure that you have those kids, because they don't want to lose that power.
Of course.
The powers
So instead of brainwashing, I could see there being incentives, like straight up incentives, like we'll pay you or we'll give you a tax break if you have a child. Right. Because right now, Japan is freaking the fuck out. Because they're the same sort of social thing is happening over there as it's been happening here, where women are just like, yeah, fuck it. Guys are like, yeah, fuck it.
Right.
And no one's getting together and creating families. And their aging population is growing as it does. And old people just consume, right? They don't produce. They only consume, and they cause drains, right? They drain on hospitals, drain on pharmaceuticals, drain on healthcare, like all kinds of stuff. So no, we didn't. You left. So you can't say anything, Jen, because we took control.
And this is what happens. This is what happens when I leave the men.
They said there was going to be they said there was going to be what is it? The sale of geriatric diapers is going to supersede the sale of baby diapers in a number of years. And like, that's fucked. Like, if you think about that, you're just gonna have like a whole population of.
Why is everybody shitting themselves?
That's what happens.
Why is everybody shitting themselves?
Yeah, that's your future in like 10 years.
No, sir. My grandma wasn't shitting herself. She was like 95.
Yeah, there was some tough old broads, though. There some tough fucking old broads.
Yeah, that's different.
This is why I work out, man. This is why I work out.
We had some of them old broads, but their knuckle game was tight.
That is true. That is true.
Israel Grace says no one loves committing to anything. That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
It is a good point.
And I see a lack of commitment, but it stems back to what I was talking about, the fear of judgment, because nobody wants to be caught out, right? No one wants to extend out and the other person goes, I got you. I got you to like me. I was just playing the whole time, right? And that and that's linked with like trolling culture, right?
Yeah.
And things like that, and as well as sarcasm, right? Somebody says something and you think it's genuine, and then you fucking hand them their ass on like a comment page or whatever, and then they come back to like, bro, like I was just kidding. Look at you fucking going off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell like whether they're being sincere or now they're shifting positions so that they can remain safe, so their ego can remain safe. Right.
Shifting.
But I fucking love commitments. I know, granted, I'm fucking 45 years old, but like I like the idea that that the things that you can create through commitment, right? It's like you can't take like a piece of wood and carve it into a fucking table without commitment. Like, you can't do anything without commitment, right? Nothing happens ever.
That's very true. Yeah, and I think, I don't know what the Israel guy was talking about exactly, but if he's talking about like being in a relationship and staying till they're old, that's really, for the majority of the population, not a realistic thing. It just isn't. You're not going to stay with the same person your whole life. And people cheat because it's kind of in human nature to cheat. This whole marriage thing,
wait a minute. I don't think it's in human nature to cheat. I think it's not in human nature to commit forever.
What I'm saying is, when I say cheat, that's kind of it's a word and it has meaning, but it's kind of
right. To say monogamy is made up.
Yeah, like
right.
But
I was talking about this tonight with Erica. I was like, this whole like marriage, because it's all like we were talking about, we get brainwashed by churches. I was saying this when you were gone. We get brainwashed by society to think this is the way things should be and this is the way you have to do it. And in reality, I said, what happened? Let's just go back 20,000 years. Do you think they had a thing called marriage? They had maybe some pair bonding, as someone likes to say, but there was a lot of fucking going on that wasn't with that bonding. just because.
Typically it started with aristocratic societies to maintain wealth and land. Like that's really what it was.
Absolutely.
And the same thing.
Absolutely.
And then so I think like people who are not of the aristocracy, they wanted to kind of copy that so they could feel like royals. Okay. And oddly enough, here's a little factoid. That's how restaurants started, right? Food preparation only happened for the wealthy. And what happened was the people who were making food, they're like, hey, you know what? Let's give regular folks a little like feel, a taste, if you will, of what it is to be served, right? And they started making food for the common folk, and they slowly grew into restaurants. Like that's how the whole thing began. It's a mimic of the wealthy, right? Who just like live like that every day. They have a chef who lives in their home and makes all their food for them. You know,
that's what's funny to me, that when you say that, because marriage is weaponized, right? Like you can get an argument with somebody, men and women do it too, like, but are you married, and I'm like, okay, you're married, did you collaborate on some wealth? Like what I don't understand why it's weaponized. I'm like, okay, so now you're in a situation with a person who has to move hell and hot water to stay faithful to you, probably isn't going to, right? Statistically, and vice versa, you with him. I don't get why it's weaponized. If marriage was for, to build wealth, to keep wealth, to gain wealth. I'm like, did you gain wealth marrying this guy?
When
you get in an argument with someone, they use that against you, right? They'll be like, but that's why you're not married. Or why? And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with it? You're married and you're miserable.
Right.
So it's constantly used as this thing, like women use it against women, men use it against single women.
People, right? It's not an institution of marriage that makes people miserable, right? People they're going to be miserable if it's true, right? Because how many people have dealt with their shit? You know what I'm saying?
Not many.
Most people don't deal with their shit, but I think that the glee people feel after divorce proves that fucking marriage was horrible for them, for their lifestyle.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that. But I would say this: when you're in any sort of long-term interaction with another person, eventually what they do is going to subconsciously bring out your shit, and vice versa. If you're both ill-equipped to recognize it and deal with it properly, you're both fucked. And that's why marriages crumble a lot of times, because they don't have the wherewithal or the knowledge to and the self-awareness to actually deal with themselves, as other people inadvertently trigger the things that you haven't dealt with from your fucking childhood. And that's really what happens. And then things start, and then they get swept under the rug, and they turn into these other things. And that seems like it's the problem, but it's not really the problem. It's you not dealing with your shit that's the problem. And I think that's one.
I think that's one aspect of it. I think that's definitely. And then they say, like, I have to validate that
irreconcilable differences, or they say it was money, or they say he had a cheating problem, or they say she was spending too much, or what? Like, that's all surface stuff. You know what I'm saying? Those behaviors, those habit patterns, they come from like thoughts that have been carved in a long, long time ago. You know what I mean? It's like, we're just blindly in the butt.
Yeah, we're fucked up as people.
Well, I think
that's part of it. I think that's part of it, but
freedom,
I think.
Hey, just real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off. Maybe that joy of getting out of that marriage or that relationship is actually, now I don't have to face any of my shit anymore. I can just be on my bullshit and mask it off with a whole bunch of fun and debauchery. Right.
But I don't
have to think about me. I can go to Jamaica. I don't have to think about me and my shit. I can go do this. I can go do that. I can, right. And you get full of like fun distractions when you're really ignoring a lot of the things that are going on with you.
Yeah, I think there's some of that. Like, I think it's also, and you might be kind of alluding to this with your trips to Jamaica, is it's the grass is greener on the other side, right? And someone may leave a marriage looking for something, like you said, but what they're really looking for is maybe filling a hole from something that, they're trying to fill that void. Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're alluding to with what you said.
Wherever you go, there you are. That's what my kung fu instructor told
Right.
me.
I think that's part of it. I also think that single life is just, I don't know, it's more fulfilling. There's more freedom. It's more fulfilling. You can fuck with you
I don't
who
know.
you want and go where you want. And I'm just speaking for me. Let me just speak for me and not for the masses. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Necessary Evil. Necessary Evil says men should operate within their own capabilities and not perpetuating some machismo, macho persona that they aren't equipped for. Oh, what a wonderful world it would be.
Jen, your point right there where you're speaking for yourself. I think that's the main fucking issue that we're not addressing. You're speaking for yourself.
Okay.
And other people should just speak for their fucking selves. And this is one of the reasons why people are stressed out. Like, look, how you operate in your marriage, that's how you operate. Maybe marriage isn't for me. Or maybe I have a particular marriage that operates in a particular fashion. That's my business. I married this person. Now, another thing too is that I think people just get involved with other people to fill that void that they're trying to, escape from, period. Whether it's relationships, whether it's marriage, so on and so forth. There's just people who will do anything not to basically deal with their own shit.
To be alone, not to be alone.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Exactly.
Because they were never taught. But that's my thing, Haran, that people are not taught to be the fuck alone. We're constantly being pushed into socializing or constantly being, you have it from when you're a little girl. We condition little girls. You have to grow up and wear that white dress and be a little princess and be a wife. So all our lives we're thinking something, I'm broken if I don't want to be the little princess in a white dress. Then we become the little princess in the white dress. We marry the fucking guy and we're looking at him on the couch like, I don't want to be here. And then what happens? 75 to 80%, I love that number, percent of women file for divorce. We want out.
Yeah.
We want out of being with a man forever. You cannot fight statistics.
Right. It's not the time thing. Well, check this out. There's almost the same statistic is the number of guys who don't know what the fuck they're doing, who cannot tap into a woman's core.
Yeah, that's true.
Who don't know how to fuck her brains out. Who don't know how to fuck her mind to the point where she feels it in her body and you haven't even touched her. A man who doesn't know
those
how
are the
to
reasons
lead.
why you do
Mr. Justin, let people know where they can find you again. Let men know where they can find you again.
Right, but I'm saying they know how to lead. They know how to lead her to a deeper position of herself, which, by the way, Jen, you're not going to get in a single life, right? And so that type of guy is very small in the population. So it's no surprise that the vast majority of marriages get into a divorce that are led off by the woman, because she's like, that's because again, to your point with the programming, the white dress and all this, there's this expectation of like, oh yeah, and there's going to be this certain type of guy who's going to be filling that role to facilitate the feeling that I get from the fantasy. Okay. And then when the reality hits, that it's like, oh, there's just these dudes. And it's not anywhere near that, like, just maybe occasionally there's this little fizzle pop of like, oh, that kind of reminded me of that. And then they take that and they'll like spin it up so they can feel good about it and, keep the idea going as long as they can. Then it loses speed. And then it's just like, okay, there he is again. Right. Yeah. Like that's really the problem. The problem is guys just don't know what they're fucking doing.
When people say, cheating wouldn't hurt if monogamy wasn't supposed to be how we lived. It's not the fucking cheating. It's fucking promising somebody something and then breaking a promise. And that can happen with anything. That can happen. I can tell Haran, listen, every Friday I'm gonna give you $50 and I vow that to you. You commit to me, I'm going to give you this $50 every Friday, every fucking time. And then the Fridays start dwindling and I'm like, oh my God, do you really need the $50? I gave it to you last Friday. He's going to be like, wait a minute now. I committed to you because you said $50 every Friday. Here, take 25. I got something else to do. And then another week passes. You're like, and Haran's like, hey, the $50. And I'm like, oh, you back again. Look, I got 15. Do what you will with that, right? Now, Haran's going to do one of two things: either put up with it and be miserable, or go find somebody else who's going to give him that $50. That's what it is. You can break a promise with anything. It doesn't mean that we were supposed to be monogamous and that's why cheating hurts. That's not why cheating hurts. It's because someone vowed to you, someone committed to you, and now they're breaking that agreement and that promise. It doesn't mean we're supposed to be monogamous. Girl meets boy, boy marries girl. Like, no, I'm not going to believe that. I'm not going to believe that. And I'm noticing nowadays that people are giving less of a fuck about that tradition and they being who they are. I understand what you said, Mr. Justin. You can't get that being single, but I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. This has been more fulfilling for me than being locked in with. And when I look back at my relationships,
I don't blame you. I do not blame you. I understand 1,000% where you're coming from. 1,000, because I talk with average guys every single week, right? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? After doing this for a few years, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I understand why women do what they do, why they move the way they move, because they're in a growth. Imagine you're hungry, okay, and you want an apple, and you step into like this apple orchard, just fucking thousands of apples, okay, and someone who's starving for apples might look and go, holy shit, look at all the fucking apples you got. You are so like abundantly living. Wow, you're so lucky. But you start walking through the apple orchard and you pick this up. You're like, no, this one's bitter. No, this one's got a worm in it. This one's got bruises. This one's got this. This one's got that. You're looking for just one fucking edible apple. Just one amongst thousands that are just rotten and sitting on the ground, half eaten by squirrels or whatever. You're just like, what the fuck? Of all these apples, I can't find one fucking apple that I can actually eat and enjoy, right?
Just one fucking apple.
That'll be fulfilling for me, right? That the apple knows what to fucking do. And that's the problem. And guys look at the abundance that women have. They go, oh my gosh, look at all the fucking dicks you got. Yeah, they're fucking average dicks. They don't do much except go in and out, in and out, in and out. And then they fall asleep and they go, hey, wait, did you come?
I'm done.
You see, Jen, the biggest problem here is that, and I'm seeing it more so, the men that you need, they're not being conditioned to be individuals.
No.
They're being conditioned to make everyone happy. They're being conditioned to fit in with their fucking boys, and they, you know what I mean? Because if they go against the herd, then they're a sucker and they're a simp and blah blah blah. They're conditioned to be a part of, you know, a bunch of guys who spit back fucking cliche talking points. At what point in time do you sit these guys down and say, hey pal, what do you think? What do you want? Not what your mom wants, not what women want, not what your fucking boys think. What do you want? And if you sit most of these guys down and you ask them that question, they'd be fucking lost.
Do you think that do you think that it's a disservice to men in general, right? Because the majority of men are average at best. They are in and out, in and out. Did you come? Right? That's the average guy. That's the average guy. Do you think that it's unfair to men to raise women, to raise females, to raise girls to be like, one day you're going to grow up and wear the white dress and you're going to meet this prince and he's going to fix all your problems? If you're rearing women that way, then every man's going to be a horrible apple.
Right. Well,
don't you think?
I read this book. Who is it called? It was written by Jean-Paul Sartre's girlfriend, or lover, concubine, or something like that. It's Simone de Beauvoir. That's who it was. And she was interviewing this guy or something like that in the book, and he said, I wouldn't look like such a dwarf if you first hadn't expected me to be such a giant. And I read that and I was like, wow, that's pretty fucking profound. Right?
That's it right there.
But here's the thing. When you're a man about your shit and you are an individual, as Haram was talking about, you can break through that woman's algorithm. You can break through that conditioning, right? But you got to know what to recondition it with. And even so not only are you not being taught who you are, you're not taught how to break through, and you're not told what to do once you get there.
Right? Because I always stress, my thing with men is my number one complaint is that they don't have balance. That is my number one complaint with men. They think, well, I provide, right? I put food on the table. They think that's enough. Or if they just got the good dick game, why'd you cheat on me? I thought the sex was really great. You said you came 5 times. There's no balance. Like, there's no fucking balance. And I'm like, you guys know the balance because you say you want a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets. So obviously you know what balance looks like. But I think generally men don't know how to deliver balance. That's why I always go back to fucking 50 Shades of Grey, Christian Grey. Whether or not he's a fake character, he was one way out in the world, and then he was very demanding, and then very, you know what I mean? He had balance, right? But you can't tell a guy to watch a movie because they're like, that's gay. I'm not going to watch the movie. I'm like, you need to watch what it is that women are really into.
Yeah.
Give it a peek. Give it a peek.
A great example of that is, and they came out the 2nd season. I got to watch it, but that show Sex Life.
Listen, I'm trying to I've been telling Haran and Lily for freaking days to watch Sex Life.
Weekend. I said I was going to watch it this weekend.
Oh my! I am stuck on that show, and I told you binge watching.
It just killed me though because like what's the sex guy's name? There's the. He's got the longer blonde hair, but the guy who she really likes to fuck, I was like rooting for him. And then he started getting all fucking emotional. And I'm just like, oh God, do they really have to why can't they just put a real fucking player in there and show them what really happens? But no, they had to put the Hollywood spin on it to keep the fucking narrative going. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's got that sensitive side. No. I want to see a cold fucking player. I wanted him to be fucking cold as a glacier and just run that whole fucking shit and go, damn, this is the one where like the villain is actually winning everything, right?
They watch Sex Life season 2 is out of this world. You can start season 1, but season 2 is fucking. Have you seen season 2 yet? Mr. Justin, did you start season 2?
No, I haven't. I only watched season 1.
Okay. Season 2 is off the chain. You have to see, ladies, gentlemen, watch Sex Life on.
But it's a great example.
I mean, you get addicted to watching it.
It's a great example of like the girl who is, she gets with this guy, has like fantastic, crazy, wild sex. She's living this party lifestyle, and then she's like, you know what? I can't keep this up. I need to just have because that you get the roller coaster, right? He loves me. He hates me. He loves me. He hates me. He disappeared. Oh, he's back again. Right. And then, I need some consistency. And then she meets Brad. Of course, his name's Brad. And he's good looking. He's dependable. Mm-hmm. He's got about as much edge as a butter knife, but it's like he can build. Right. Mm-hmm. He's built you can build things on top of him. Right. He's built things on top of himself. And so she tries that lifestyle. And I love it. Dead. It's dead.
I love that they used him though, because he's gorgeous. His body is amazing. He has a great job. Like any woman would be. When I watched season 1, I wanted to beat her ass.
Yes, but Jen, there's tons of women who leave men just like him every single day because they're average in here. They don't know. See, that's what the other guy, right? I wish I could remember his name. If someone could type his name in the chat. The other guy who could fuck, he was all about himself, and he could fuck her without even. He would just send her a little text message, and she was getting wet. Right, because
she was all over anchors, the place.
He create triggers. He became a trigger for her. He didn't have to implant anything. He was the implant, right? Mm-hmm. And just by reaching out, he was touching her without touching her. He was moving mountains in her mind without even being near her. And it's like the guy Brad, which represents a large portion of the male population, has no clue how to do that. Zero clue.
And but again. Right. Going back to what I said, the balance. Brad is like, I'm good looking. I have an amazing job. I'm an amazing father. And what happens when women want that other sexy guy, right? That lights them on fire. The good guy he's like, I'm doing it. This where men go. I'm doing everything right. I'm putting food on the table. I'm a great father. I'm romantic with her. What the fuck does this woman want? I don't get what I did wrong. I'm doing everything right. You don't have the balance of the other guy.
You actually said it though. You actually said it though. What he's doing wrong. You said it. He said he's saying to himself, "I did everything right." Who told you what to do though? Did you tell yourself that? Why are you saying that? The other guy is saying, "I'm doing what I fucking want."
I want
she
to.
Loves it. And that is the reason why I tell these guys you have to be an individual, because when you're in Jen, like when I told you, when I was out in the world being a fucking dusty ass fucking musician, you know what I mean, not a dime in my fucking pocket, you know what I mean, playing, doing pretty much the only thing I can do was make music and fuck. These chicks were bringing me my fucking, you know what I mean, gigs, putting money in my pocket, all that fucking shit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they did it because me just being who I wanted to fucking be and passionate about it, they fucking loved that shit. While the other guy, you know, yeah, he's doing all these other things and so on and so forth, and he's the good guy, but he's basically following what he was told to do.
What I love
is telling you that that's not sexy.
And what I love in season 2 is they actually explain why she was even. We talk about, I love that show because it's all the topics we cover here in a nutshell. But in season 2, they explained, you know, she kind of like, without giving a spoiler, they reveal how she even wanted to be in that cookie cutter life, right? And why she felt ashamed of wanting that other guy and wanting to have wild sex. Now, with that said, the wild guy, that's not sustainable either. Right? That's not sustainable. It's exciting, but that's not sustainable either, which is what pushed her to the Brad. But I don't know if you had to settle and commit and be stuck with a man, that Brad guy. Hey,
no, because
I wouldn't be mad at that.
No, she at some point, and it was already starting. She was looking at him and going, "Who is that dude? Like, he's just facilitating my life. Like, what the fuck am I doing here?" Right? And so inevitably she was going to come to that point. And if she stuck it out too long, it would turn into resentment. Right.
Oh yeah.
And that happens a lot. The problem is that neither man in this show was leading. Right. The guy who the player who's good at fucking, he was just doing whatever he wanted to do. Right. That's not exactly leading. Right. The Brad was too worried about what she wanted. He's like, I'm doing everything right. Why isn't she happy? I'm doing all these things for her. Why am I not getting her? Right. And so his whole mind was focused on her. Right. He had no individuality. He was weak. Right. She could crush him like a fucking peanut shell. And he did get crushed like a peanut shell. The other guy, he can't be crushed, but he's too scattered. He's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have that stability, that fucking freight train sort of mind where he says, no, you get on here. We're going there now. Right. He's just like, hey, you want to come? Like, I'm doing this. You want, like, come with me? Don't come with me, whatever. But if you do, it's going to be fucking crazy. Right. And like for the time, like, yeah, that's more fun than fucking sitting on the couch with Brad watching fucking, I don't know, reruns of Family Ties.
Netflix.
Right. So it's like yeah, of course she's going to go with that because she's starved for that fucking, to feel something. Right.
Right.
With Brad, she's fucking eating saltines, you know?
Yeah, and again, that's why I'm talking about the balance, because men automatically think, unfortunately, they think, oh, I get it. She wants an asshole. No, we don't want an asshole. That's not what it is. Like, they have to swing the pendulum to the other side and break it off. No, that's not. No, we don't want.
That's not it either.
An asshole.
You know, it's like
being
Jen,
a leader.
You know, it's like Jen. It's like eating unseasoned food. Like it'll sustain you. But after a while, you'll not look forward to eating anything.
And the other guy,
it's like, you don't have salt. You don't have salt.
Haron, and the other guy is like eating candy bars, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right? It will satisfy you, but it won't nourish you.
Exactly.
Right? It won't make you grow. It won't make your muscles
Exactly.
grow. It won't heal any injuries,
Absolutely.
but it'll fill your belly. That
And
Snickers,
you know
it'll do
what?
the job.
And you know what, Justin? It's funny you should say that, because this is one of the reasons why I went out there and I got and I became gainfully employed, because it's like, okay, I can't be this guy forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got to go out there and be able to sustain myself. I have to,
Mhm.
stabilize myself. I have to have something that I want. I want to offer a lot more than what I was offering previously.
Sure.
So it you're absolutely right in saying that being the wild guy, that shit is not sustainable. And after a while, people don't trust you because you're so fucking unpredictable.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
this comment here is interesting. Israel Gray said, but Brad is trying to build a future. If she can't see that, she is slow. If you remember Kevin Samuels, they don't give a fuck about your career. They don't give a fuck about your degree. They don't give a fuck about that, right? No, because people want what they want. So it doesn't matter that Brad was trying to build a future. That's great. But Brad was still boring. And boring is real. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he's building. Okay. That's fine. That's great. But like what I said before, Brad was not leading her. He was not telling her what to do. And he couldn't because he didn't have any fucking balls, because he was disconnected from himself, because he grew up in a socially conditioned pattern that says, build the thing, you'll get the girl, and then your life will be like such. Okay. And he kind of had it, but he didn't, because underneath all that was just a lot of fucking soft weakness that wasn't, or let me just say, it's just underdeveloped, because no one fucking showed him how to fucking drop his balls and, bend her over the couch, smack her ass and say, hey, fucking get in line. Right.
But do you think, though?
And he tried it. He tried it and he failed because he was putting on the costume.
Oh, that was funny when he tried. That was.
He tried
I was
to be
I
the
felt so
dude.
bad for him. I'm like,
in
it's
the
not
first
you.
season, he tried to be the guy, right? And it didn't work because he didn't believe it himself, and he was doing it out of emotion. He had anger behind it.
Do you think he was just? This is why I want people to watch it, because it's such a great conversation piece. Do you think that they would just mismatch? Do you think that someone else would love a Brad and be freaking happy?
No.
Do you think she was too much for him?
No, not at all. Not at all. He just didn't know how to lead. He didn't know himself. He thought he was, check this out. He thought his identity was his dues. Right. So there's the I am and there's the I do. So he identified with his I do. And she thought, oh, look at your I do. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking sustainable. That looks comfortable. That looks confident, right? Like, I can confidently rest in that I do. It's established. But she gets there and she goes, you know what? This smells like a no I am kind of house, right? It's just a big extended I do, right? And that's the problem. And then the other dude, he's all I am. That's all he is. He's like, I am the fucking fire, but it's all unpredictable, right? As Haram was mentioning, it's unpredictable. So
you have to focus it. You have to focus that energy, man. You have a lot of guys who they're intense guys, man, intense, and but some of these guys burn out, and some of these guys manage to hone it and gain that balance that you're talking about, Jen. These guys become CEOs. They become guys who become captains of industry, become Steve Jobs, whoever. They change the fucking world. But it's this that kind of guy with that kind of intensity. It's not as common as people would think. You know what I mean? And what's even more common is for that kind of guy to become focused and balanced, because there's a lot of energy behind that. You know what I mean? It takes a degree of self-discipline in order to focus that and ensure that you get the results that you need. And it's trial and error too.
That's funny. Mr. Reckless said, I noticed a lot of beautiful women are not all into a man's look anymore. Who gives a fuck what women are thinking about your looks? Well, I mean, why are you caring what they think like at all. Like unless it's your woman and you go to her with a question, right? Why do you and these like so what do you care about women in population of what they think, especially when it comes to your looks? See, that's what I was talking about before, Jen. How men are being conditioned to be more aware of their appearance. Like right, all right. So we're the
I was about to say what women, because I'm into looks. Like I don't know.
No, but I'm just saying, like you and I, we're the oldest people here on this panel. Look, go back to our grandparents. Did your grandfather give a fuck about his appearance?
No, my dad.
No, I mean they took but they like took care of themselves. Right. But it wasn't like, oh man, I hope I don't look weird today because someone might say something. They didn't give a shit. They just cared about what needed to be done.
My dad wore the same. He had a uniform. He wore the same shit all week fucking long.
Yo, there's a thing right now with guys do. You know what I mean? And this is the thing guys do. I don't personally do it. If you do it, you do it. Whatever. They shave their fucking underarms. I'm a Jamaican man. In Jamaican culture, if you shaved your fucking underarms,
you don't manscape. You don't manscape.
I don't shave my fucking underarms.
Underarms is not manscaping.
You know what I mean? I'm not shaving my fucking underarms.
Okay.
Manscaping is just the pubic area.
Yeah,
Well, okay, though. I mean, the whole thing. If you shave in the pubic area, might as well hit the armpits.
What?
I'm not.
We're already here.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, so let me say this to the men that refuse to shave their armpits: do not ever, because it is fucking nauseating, use a white deodorant stick.
No,
because it is fucking disgusting.
And shit.
It is fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
not at all. Not at all. Not
if
at all.
you shave your armpits down, it.
I know how to keep myself. You know.
Yeah. You don't. It definitely. Yeah. It's a better smell.
Right. It's right. It's like I don't like the metrosexual look. Like I would feel funny, you know what I mean, looking at a guy with shaven armpits like as like mine are. But you can take your clippers and take it down to a nice fade. I don't want to smell you. I don't want to see the deodorant chunks. It's so Cool J one time was performing on stage. And he lifted his arms up, and I promise you, I almost upchucked.
Yeah.
No,
I almost upchucked.
I'm talking about bald, shaven underarms, dudes.
They don't have to be bald. They don't have to be bald.
That's not.
No, I don't trim it up. I also don't use like antiperspirants. That your body's supposed to perspire. Like,
so you 70s Bush?
No. I use a deodorant. Right. I use a deodorant.
Yeah.
I found ones that work with my body. Right.
And then you have to.
You can always. My girl was telling me this, and it's pretty wise. When you find a scent to use on your body that you don't notice, you found a good scent because it blends with your natural chemistry, right? And so I've found deodorants where it's like I don't really notice the smell. I mean, it's like, okay, so this is working with my body chemistry a little bit better than maybe another brand or whatever. And so that's what I use. I don't use fucking antiperspirant shit, right?
No, antiperspirant I don't use.
Yeah. And I'm not shaving my fucking armpits or clipping them like I'm a fucking man. Like,
and another thing too, as to Justin's point, you have to know individually your chemistry as a man, because there are some deodorants out there that work very well, but my body just cuts through them because my testosterone levels are at a particular spot. And you know what I mean? It's just seriously.
Way to make a negative into a positive.
You know what I mean? No, but you have to keep these things in mind. Like, if your body chemistry is at a certain spot.
And listen, I stink, but my dick stays really high. All right.
As long as you take care of that stink, you know what I mean? You're good. You know what I mean?
And you know, there's someone who loved the smell of a man. Like there's. And I'm not talking colognes or anything like that. There's women who just love the man, like the smell of. I'm not saying a gross stinky man, but a stinky man in this, to a certain degree. Let's just say that.
No, I'm one of those girls. Like I like how guys smell healthy men. Okay, don't come up with me with your funk. I like how I like how healthy men smell after the gym. Like that warm heat, that aroma, especially if they into the animal packs. Remember I told you guys about the animal packs before? If they take them vitamin packs, like they smell really good without cologne. You funky guys, don't DM me. I don't care how stinky
That's from
you are.
eating like really bad food. I have this friend, okay? I've been friends with him for over 20 years, probably like 25 years.
Mhm.
And he has always been just a fucking stinky dude. Like onions, like straight like onions, right? You smell those people with the BO that just smells like someone's cutting onions, and you're in the gym or you're like, like walking through the street, like, God damn, like what the fuck? Because it's so strong. He's that guy, but he's the dude, like he'll just fucking eat any greasy shit, meat, like cheeses and all that. Like cheese will fuck with you want to clean up your scent? Move dairy out of your life. Don't eat so much fucking cheese. Yeah. Yeah, because it turns like a sticky substance inside your body. Clean up the dairy just a little bit and your body odor will probably shift. But he just would eat shit, grease, meat, cheese. Like he didn't give a fuck.
Whatever was thrown on that plate.
Yeah, and he had like a high metabolism, so he never got fat or anything like that. But it lingered in his body, and he would fucking reek like onions when he got sweaty. He was the type of dude, right? This is the last part. He would go take a shower, right? He'd come out the shower, and within 5 minutes, I'd be smelling. I was like, "Didn't you just take a fucking shower? How are you smelling like onions
so fast?"
The fuck?
Well, it's funny you say that because there's some healthy stuff I used to love, and I learned this from my girlfriend in California, and it didn't bother me at all. I used to love eating a little bit of cheese because it would cool off your mouth. I would eat raw garlic, right? And I remember one time I had some raw garlic. I went in and I was in the military. Somebody said, "Who ate some kimchi?" Which is a Korean dish that has a lot of garlic in it, because it comes out of your pores. I never found it offensive. It wasn't offensive. I'm talking about when she would do it. I never found that smell to be bad. I always kind of liked it, but I can't do it anymore because, I did it here with Erica, and she was like, she wasn't having it.
I can't imagine.
I had my friend's mom used to eat raw garlic because she was trying to fight off cancer. She died of cancer, but she used to eat a lot. Like every time we went to her house, man, like she was just garlic was her. It was her, and the whole house smelled like that. She was a big woman too, so she didn't make it though.
But it's supposed to have a lot of, that's what they say. It has a lot of good properties.
Yeah, it's a anti-inflammatory and antibacterial.
Right. And I even went, listen, there's a place in San Francisco called the Stinking Rose. But they have a lot of garlic in California, especially Gilroy Garlic Fest I went to in California.
That just made me think of ass when you said the Stinking Rose.
The Stinking Rose, and they had garlic ice cream.
Garlic ice.
Chocolate.
Yes, garlic ice cream. And so I ate some of that too. I love garlic.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me think of that.
My friend fucking stunk like garlic, right out of the shower, man. He smelled, man. But no, I don't shave anything on my body except my balls. Like, trim the pubic hair a little bit, But that's not it. That's not for my benefit. That's for my girl's benefit, Jen, I was just saying, like, I shaved my pubic area a little bit and I shaved my balls, but that's for my girl's benefit, not me. Because I'm just thinking, like, all right, if I was like, no homo, if I was gonna put balls in my mouth, would I want them to be smooth or like with little hairs all over the place? And I'm a white guy.
We want the balls smooth.
So, right, I'm a white guy, so the hair is different. It's longer. It's like wigglier,
stringier.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's like I'm thinking, like, would I want a shape like that with that sort of texture in my mouth? It's probably more pleasant to have something smooth, right? So that that's what I do. But no, I don't fucking trim my arm.
That's why I tell guys all the time. It's a manscaped penis is more appetizing. It just is. It's just more appetizing. It's like I want to put that in my mouth, right? I don't. When they have all of those stringy hairs, right? And then if the guy's older, some of those hairs are gray. It's just listen, guys. Manscaped.
Yeah. Take at the very least, just take care of your balls.
Mm-hmm. Take care of your
And
balls.
here's a cool move I learned from one of my mentors. When you're in the shower, fellas, and I guess like ladies could do this too. Get like a loofah, right? And spray your cologne on it while you're in the shower. Okay. So you've cleaned your whole body. This is the last thing you do. Spray some cologne on the loofah, right? And then rub that on your body. And then get out the shower and like let it, because what happens, you're in a hot shower, your pores are open, right? And so all that goes into your pores. You get out, you cool off, and then you can, like pat your body dry where that went, you dry off or whatever. And then as you go through your evening and you warm back up again, as your pores open up again, you start like, having sex or making out with a woman, your body temperature increases, your pores open, and the cologne starts coming out again. So like kind of like, but it's already bonded with your body, so it changes the smell and yeah, it makes it last a lot longer. And it's like more natural. It's not like so powerful, like when you spray cologne on, it's like heavier. It like really sits and it's very strong. This is more blended if you do it this way.
I would say I'd caution the people who are shaving their balls. It may burn a little bit when you have that loofah. If you have little nicks on your balls.
I don't spray, put cologne on my balls though. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Just use the loofah like on my neck, my chest. And,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Don't loofah your nuts. That sounds painful.
No, especially with cologne on.
No, you don't want to do that. That'll burn.
So let me ask a question because we didn't get to none of the questions. This is supposed to be Freaky Friday Q&A. Have you ever had an inappropriate crush?
Men don't have crushes.
Oh. Then I'll speak for myself. I've had many.
That's perfectly fine because you're not a man.
You know what I was going to say, but I don't want to be not a man. So
Give us. This is a safe space. No saint.
I'm just saying.
Like, oh, okay.
See, but remember, we also talked about individuality. So if you want to be the man up here and be like, I got a fucking crush and I don't give a fuck, come challenge my masculinity, bitch.
There you go, man.
Then you do that. So where was the inappropriate crush?
What makes it inappropropriate though?
It could be anything. It could be.
Don't say Sophia Petrova or no shit like that. No saying. Keep that shit to yourself.
No, like insubordination type crush, boss.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Some shit that'll get you kicked out.
Yeah.
Okay. Go no saint. Dark side, don't you? I knew all that shit was an act. That Opie Cunningham shit was an act.
All right. So I had a crush in high school, right? I had a crush in high school on my, oh man, I don't remember what class she taught, but she was like this new teacher who came in, and it was like, what the fuck? Like the idea of like the sexy teacher thing was just a fantasy. It was an idea. It was like something that happened in the movies or whatever. It actually happened. And every guy was just like, where the fuck did this lady come from? And yeah, she was amazing. And she took a liking to this one boy. I can't remember his name. He was like the school soccer star. Oh. And he was a junior at the time, I think. And everyone was just like, oh man, like she's fucking him. She has to be, right?
Oh shit.
Now I think back, like, hell no, that wasn't happening. She's gonna fucking jeopardize her job,
right?
For for a 4-inch penis. Like, come on.
Some do. Some do.
Well, now I see like every other month.
This is back in the 80s,
Yeah, so hot for teacher 90s. Been playing through your head when you see this teacher walk in.
Right. Yeah. This was in the 90s. Like, this really wasn't like a common occurrence. Nowadays, it fucking happens all the time. They're like, oh, I love him, and I'm this middle school or this high school student has I'm having his baby. It's like,
he's so mature.
Fuck? Right. Aaron, you ever have a what did you say? What kind
inappropriate
of crush? Inappropriate
crush.
I mean, when I was younger, I thought Pam Grier was amazing. That's about as inappropriate as it.
I'm talking about inappropriate. Your cousin, your friend's wife, your
that's what I'm
friend's
saying. That's about as
your friend's
inappropriate as it gets
wife,
for me.
your
Nah.
your boy's girlfriend, your someone you knew was married. Like, no, God, you guys are so innocent and sweet.
I didn't like. There was nobody that. I mean,
maybe our friends had ugly girlfriends, man.
Yeah, that's the other half. It's like, you know what I mean? I knew a couple of guys whose moms were like, hello, Mrs. Williams. How are you? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't, I mean, these guys, like, I mean, I see some of these young guys' moms now. I'm like, holy shit. It's like, I mean, it's like the
because they're
teachers
trying to
and the
compete
moms.
with their daughters.
It's like the teachers and the moms are like completely different now from when I came up. You know what I mean? Like the moms are all mom looking when I was younger. So
now the moms are on TikTok.
Yeah, like Jen, you're like somebody's grandmother.
They're like on OnlyFans, man.
Yeah, like Jen, you're literally somebody's grandmother.
I'm twice over.
If I was a young guy, I'd be like, oh shit, it's your grandmother. That would be an example of that.
No, the funniest thing is when I'm out with my little grandbaby and he'll be in the park or we'll be running around. He'll be like, Grandma! And I'm like, what? And I turn around, people are like,
exactly. When we were coming up, Grandma was like the little lady. She's hunched over. She can barely move to the walker. One of the wheels on the walker is bent. Like, yo, come on, man.
Ain't your grandma's grandma, buddy.
Nah, man. It's a different world now.
It's a tennis balls.
I love when they put the tennis balls on the bottom.
What is that for?
It's for grip.
Yeah.
So the walker doesn't like wheel away on him too quickly.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible. Oh my God. Age. We're all gonna get there. We're all gonna be like, Haran, get my coat, Haran.
Fuck it. I'm gonna put spinners on my walker.
Have rims in your shit.
Yep. I'm gonna put rims with spinners on them.
Jeez.
Totally badass.
Yeah.
What's your
put hydraulics on it so it goes like this. Yep. Roll up to the women at the old folks' home. What's going on, Darla?
Darla.
I took my pill today. I took my Viagra today, Darla.
Not Darla.
That's Gertrude.
Gertrude. Go ahead, Jen. What you saying?
I said, Jesus, you guys. I lost it now. Where was it? It was good too. Oh, what's your favorite part of foreplay? Do men still foreplay?
Yeah.
What is that?
What is the foreplay?
What is your favorite?
Fucking with her head earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Yep. Getting her mind marinating early in the day, and then doing a thing. It's called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same sort of patterning that's used on slot machines in Vegas, right?
Tell.
Right. So you're at this thing it's a random machine, okay? And then every so often it gives you a win. So you sets off dopamine, you get a prize, right? And your brain's like, ooh, I get this thing with the prize and I get some money. It's like, woo, you get all these like this shot of chemicals. And then it goes back to nothing and like lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. And your brain's like all over the place. Okay. You can do the same sort of thing when you're flirting with a woman, over text or something like that, right? It's called intermittent reinforcement, and that brings about this unpredictable cycle of dopamine hits, right? And so that creates the roller coaster without being the roller coaster guy, right? And then and then you can shift it up. You get there, and she's expecting to have fun, and you're fucking calm, dead fucking serious, and she's like, oh shit, I thought we were gonna like have fun and play around and stuff like that. You don't say a word, you just sit down, right? You like go point at a glass or something like that to fill it up. And she's like, shit, Like, did I do something wrong? You know? And so now it's all shifted up. You're like, what the fuck is he doing? You know what I mean? Haven't even touched her yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, so the foreplay starts way long before.
I think that men, if men did more of that, they'd have better sex lives with their women, because I don't think I've ever met men who do that. Men don't do that. I was always the one doing that, like sending the half the titty or the nude or the hand or the something. Like, I was always initiating like that before the meeting. Foreplay. Men don't do that. I'm not gonna say here before y'all fucking have an attack. But you know, men don't do that. You guys really should get into different things.
That's a creative concept, and a lot of men aren't pushed to be creative in their life. I mean, you don't have to be a fucking artist or whatever.
No, not at all.
What I mean? You know what I mean? You men should be able to tap into their creativity. Everyone has it. Some people have it more than others, but it's not fostered in most men. And that's why you get these situations, Jeff.
And it can be, and the thing is that, but just, it doesn't have to be fucking crazy shit. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun, right? Because you're like, holy shit, like I've got this girl's mind's like dancing on the end of a string, right? And then it can be fun instead of this daunting thing like, what do I say? Right? It's like, dude, like just say whatever the fuck you want to say. Right.
And there's so many little things you can do that, I mean, they cost, you know, guys, all of you always fucking worried about money, man, always fucking worried about fucking money. Great. Here, before you guys fucking come in here, you know, it's little things like send a text. Funny thing, I'm in front of Victoria's Secret. What's your favorite color? And then let her send you the color. She's going to be like, he's in Victoria's Secret. What do you mean what's my favorite color? That kind of like, you know, now she's looking forward to whatever the hell you're going to bring from Victoria's Secret. So, you know, there are little things that you can do. Little things that you can do to just like mess with her head and to let her know that you were thinking about her during the day. Most guys is like, some guys don't even kiss unless they're fucking. Really?
Yeah, most women get turned on a lot just by kissing, right? Just by kissing, and
I do.
Yeah, and it could just be gentle touch, like just really gentle touch, like in various parts of the body, and just kissing. That'll get her more fucking turned on than you know, anything that's like, you know, typically sexy as, you know, it's defined, I suppose.
Yes. What's up, dude? Yes. Jeez. It's like, it's little things. Like, you know, guys think, yeah, I brought my dick. Isn't that enough? Isn't that what you women like? What's your favorite part of foreplay, Haran? No saying.
I think it's building the anticipation. That's definitely a big thing for me, building the anticipation. Or sometimes, you know, it's switching up from building the anticipation to going straight for it. You know what I mean? Just switching up the, you know what I mean, the matter of things, because you don't want to do everything repeatedly. You know, you just want to have a balance of what's expected and what's not expected. That's the great way to approach a situation.
Sure. And you can go right for that. And then when you see her, right, then you can shift that up and have like, say, like a playful attitude. And she's like, wait, where'd this come from? Right. So you're just constantly, you know, giving that variety and keeping the grounds underneath them a little bit shaky.
Let me ask you this.
I tell people a lot of times, life is a lot like jazz. If you wanna win, life is a lot like jazz. Prepared to play the standards, but you better be real good at improv. Which means that, you know, yeah, you're cool in a controlled setting and what's expected, but you can also break away and do your own thing at any given moment and do it well. So if you approach a lot of areas in your life like that, you will be successful.
No, Saint. When was the last time you messed with your woman's head?
I'm not following these two guys. Are you crazy? We got Godfather and Top G in here.
Top G. No, Saint. When was the last time you messed with your woman's head? No, not happening.
Listen, like I said, I wish I was in my early 20s and watching this show, because I'm listening. I'm like, God, man, why didn't they talk about this kind of shit before? Even Jen, what you're saying, I'm like, damn, she's right. Like we're getting a look into what women, just by watching you learn so much about what women are thinking.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what we're thinking.
That's never too old to learn.
Never.
Certainly, it's good for me to know to pass on to other people. But I was just thinking, damn, man, she's right, man. That would be dope if you stopped at a Victoria's Secret and say what color you want.
That man, if a man was to do that to me, I'd be like, holy fuck, man. I'd be like, he's bringing me something he want me to wear. You know, it's little things. You know, it's not about, oh yeah, I ain't got the money. It's little things, but like Haran said, it's about creativity.
But what I would do is, and I wouldn't say Victoria's Secret, right?
Okay, how would you do it? You'd be like, bitch, I'm bringing you some.
No.
And you gonna wear it.
What, you know, like, what's your, well, yeah.
You gonna fucking wear it. No?
And it'd be like a big like banana costume. You know, it should be like
a banana costume.
No. Like what I was thinking is that it's the same, like your favorite color to wear, right? And then she'd be thinking like, oh wait, because that leaves it way more open. Is it a dress? Is it a shirt? Is it underwear? Like what is it, right? And then you get like you go to like the adult store and get rope that's that color. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you're wearing.
Okay. All right. That's the platinum package. We got to ease up. We got to ease them in though, Mr. Justin. Let's ease the guys in.
Right.
Let's start with panties.
Well, this is right. Well, I'm talking like this is like somebody that you're consistently dating. I would not suggest that as well. You shouldn't be buying stuff for a woman you just met anyways. But I'm, just if you're going to be shopping, buying something for, this better be your woman, right? So not just a woman in your life. So I think that you could do the rope thing.
What's up, the radical Latino in the building? Did you see Crazy Legs on Drink Champs, sir? We need to discuss that. Since I get men on the panel, let me ask some PP questions I'm curious about. Because 3 different men, 3 different walks of life. You guys wake up. Right, 3 different dicks. You guys wake up with hard-ons, right? You guys wake up with hard-ons all the time, around about 7:30, depending on who you are, right? Do you like having sex with that hard-on, or is that just a body reaction and you don't really care about that particular hard-on because it's not even a hard-on that you wanted? It just happened because of biology. Do you want to utilize that hard-on generally? Do men want to utilize that morning wood?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. Testosterone's the highest for men in the morning. So that's part of the reason why that happens. It also shows a good level of testosterone. So like if you're not getting hard in the morning, you should probably, and you're, well, I mean, it should be happening up to like a certain age. And then it's say like 30 and older, if you're not getting morning wood, you should probably get a hormone panel done. And I'm 45. I'm on TRT. I get hard-ons every single morning. So do I want to use it all the time? No. Right? Sometimes I let it go down, and my girl likes to do what's known as cock warming in the morning. I should say,
what's cock warming?
I should say, Daddy, can I would you like me to warm your cock? Right? Cock warming is it's actually more so for the person who's doing it. And it's a calming sensation. Right. So it's a calming thing of just having a flaccid dick in your mouth and just letting it be there. There's no sucking. There's no playing. There's no bobbing. It's just holding it. It's just holding it there. So I would just lie on my back, pull the covers back, let her lay her side of her head on my stomach, and she would just hold my dick in her mouth.
Jen, I don't know. What's that look? It looks like you don't want to do it, but
No, that look is,
No, but
I've
for some
done
people-
that all the,
Oh!
I do that.
Right.
I
Yeah, it's
fucking
called-
do
it's called-
that.
Right. It's called cock
Oh,
blocking.
now you know what it's called.
I didn't know what it was called. It's just like a calming little, I'm just going to lay here and watch TV with your dick in my mouth. That's what I'm doing.
Lake Placid. Dose and Lake Placid.
I've done that. I didn't know there was a name to it. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to chill here with the, you know what I mean?
You said TR, that's a hormone or something? TRT?
Testosterone replacement therapy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is that, a pill? An injection?
Patch, right?
No, it's liquid. Yeah.
It's injections.
Mm-hmm.
Is it expensive? Is it over the counter?
Essentially, this is what it is. It's based on when we say TRT, it's based on dosage. Anything higher than a particular dosage, that is a fucking steroid cycle. So essentially, it's something that's testosterone. It's something called testosterone enanthate. It could be a different kind of testosterone depending on. Put it this way: depending on the length of something that's called an ester, is you're either going to get a super quick shot of testosterone. You're going to get a elongated shot of testosterone that lasts for like maybe 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe even a month. So that's essentially
what's the patch one.
The patch is not. I don't know if it's as effective, but it's.
I wouldn't do
it's. Yeah, I don't know if it's that effective. Guys don't really talk about it that much. I mean, like if you want the real shit, you got to inject that shit into your fucking stomach.
Edgy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's all right.
Yeah, it's cool.
Doing it for over 12 years now.
I mean, as long as you're not a bitch about needles, you'll be good.
I mean, guys, guys inject vitamin B, right? Vitamin B.
Yeah.
Don't
my brother has a big thing about needles and blood. Granted, there's no blood when you're doing injections, but I'm just saying, like, he's got a thing for needles and blood. If he has to give blood, he passes out like instantly.
A couple of nurses told me there's some guys like that.
Yeah, and it's weird because like he's a retired cop too. Like, I mean, he's seen some shit, but you take him to the doctor to get his blood drawn, and he's out like a baby. But and he had a thing about needles too, and I'm like, listen, you just got to fucking do it, right? So he started with like a very small gauge needle. He's actually kept it at a small gauge, so it's very short, it's very thin. And he does what's called subcutaneous injections, where you're not going deep into the muscle. He's going into like fat tissue, which takes longer. Stomach. Yeah, it takes longer. I don't know. I don't know where he does, but like it takes longer to get into your system, but it stays more balanced because it goes into your system slower. But he got past it. He's like, this is a grown man who's afraid of needles.
Okay. Do you think you know what women want?
Yes.
Ew.
Not after watching this show.
You should be taking notes. Everybody watching should be taking notes. What do women want? What do women want?
Yes, and if I didn't know, I'd have been fucked up a lot of times in my life if I didn't know what women wanted. Because my situation damn near depended on it a few fucking times. So,
but you had to learn that, right? You had to learn it. It's not
of course. For me, yeah, it was trial and error, of course. You know what I mean? It wasn't. I wasn't one of those guys. I'm just overall not one of those guys who believes I know everything, and coming into the gate, and there's nothing that I need to learn.
What's the consensus in your experience? What's the consensus of what women want? Because everybody's different. We could play that game. Everybody's different, but what's the consensus? What did you see? What pattern did you see with women that you dated and were in a relationship with? Where it's like, wow, okay, last woman wanted this, and last woman wanted this.
Unapologetic passion. Intense fire, intensity. Like unapologetic, like relentless, like just primal energy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I've like through all the board. Not the board, yeah. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to tap into that as a man. We're not talking about like beat your chest aggression. You know what I mean? Some macho shit. You know what I mean? You have to tap into that.
Yeah, passion is definitely different than aggression.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. If you're at all cognizant of it and coming at it from a place of what do women want, you've lost. You've lost completely.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're aware, if you're wondering, just by asking the question as a man, you lose. By wondering, you lose. By trying to figure it out, you lose. You only find out by tapping into your individuality, doing yourself, expressing yourself as a man without it contingent on what women think. And then you'll come across women who are like, I like what you're doing. I like what you're about. And she's like, you really turn me on. And just how you express yourself, that's how you'll tap in. But if you're ever at all thinking about what she's thinking, you're fucked. You're completely fucked. And that means everything you do
so let me jump in there, because most men, the majority of men, are like, tell me what you want. I'm not a mind reader. Tell me what you want. Like, that's the majority of men. They're constantly asking questions all the time. What do you like? Do you like this? Do you like me to touch you there? Do you like that? What do you constantly? Mm-hmm. So how does a man just show up and it's like, I'm going to serve you what I got?
They don't understand that what a woman wants doesn't really matter, right? It's what she needs, right? And what she needs is something that actually resides inside her that can only be tapped into by a guy who can unlock it, because she can't get there by herself. So that go ahead.
There's a very wonderful parallel, and maybe this is why I'm able to tap into that. There's a very wonderful parallel between me dealing with women and me dealing with the audience as an artist. People as an audience, the audience gravitates to an artist who is comfortable in their own skin, and they know that they have something that you're going to show up and want. They're here to give you something that you didn't even know that you needed. What I loved about there's a Steve Jobs movie out, like maybe two of them, and in one particular one. There was a line that just hit me, and it's absolutely true. And as men, we could adopt that line. He said that artists lead and hacks ask for show of hands. And you can't lead a group of people if you constantly keep asking them, well, what do you think? What should I do? You have to make a decision. Mm-hmm. Men have to be prepared to make a decision and stand on your decision. And confidently tell the people that they're leading, you're going to need to get on board with this. So when you're on stage, when I'm on stage and I'm performing, if I'm not sure about what I'm presenting to the audience, it's going to show in my performance. Mm-hmm. And the audience is going to pick that shit up, and they're going to leave.
Yep. You can and also, you're not going to ask them either. You're not going to be like, hey, everybody, what should I play?
Exactly.
Right? Because if you play what they want, you're going to hear 100,000
fucking things,
different answers, right? So then what do? Who do you aim to satisfy? Because if you satisfy that group over there, those people are leaving. You satisfy that group over there, those people are leaving. So you're fucked when you try to placate to the desires of someone who is not you, right? So when she says, I want this, I want you to be like this, I want to go there, I want to do this, I want to buy this, I want to consume this, blah, fuck it. No, I'm going to do what I want to do. If you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, you can fucking leave the bar and go to another establishment and listen to somebody else play music. But I'm not going to change what I'm doing to make you happy, because your desires are changing every single fucking day.
So I'm definitely throwing what Steph Diaz said, confidence. That's huge with me, like huge. Once I see like a guy's not confident, I could kind of like play around with him. You know what I mean? I test. Let me tell you, women will do it. They will test you. They will test your G. And I throw out, little jokes. I poke a little bit. You know what I mean? See what you made of.
Here's to your point. Exactly. Because I tell this to dudes all the time. This is what some woman wants. They want a dude that they can't play. That's what they want. If she can't play you and she knows she can't play you, she's like, oh man, okay.
Yep.
There you are.
That's true. That's true, because once I can see like the little chinks, or I'll throw out certain jokes, or I'll be vulgar to see what he, how he handles it. And once I can see he's I'm like, oh, okay. I start getting that little like, I can play with this guy a little bit, kick him around, like kind of like, you ever seen a cat with a mouse before they eat him? Like they slap him around all. It's like, he's cute, he's furry, he'll do. But that once I start seeing you like that, like. Goes into like you go into the little brother slot after, if there's anything I can get from you or whatever. What's your favorite go-to signature move during sex? And everybody got one. I can't tell you guys mine because I got enough problems with my DMs. I cannot do it. I cannot reveal it. But you guys can reveal it. I cannot. I can't. Not on this public platform. No, Saint, why are you hiding from your signature move?
Don't say no shit like the rock bottom.
What? The rock bottom. The gristle lick. I do the gristle lick.
The suplex.
The arm bar. What is your signature go-to move that you're like, oh, wait till she get a load of this? Because I know that's how I enter it. Before I do my signature move, I was like, oh, I'm about to fuck his head up. Not all at once. Take your time.
You going
I was waiting for no Saint.
Yeah.
Nah, you're not
I'll
getting
just say mine. When I know she's coming, I usually slow down and go in a very circular motion, so I'm actually massaging her walls while she's actually going through her orgasm.
Not bad. You hear that? No Saint? Can you follow that?
I'm listening.
He's like, do I do anything? Do I have a signature move? No, Saint, if you were to be single, you're married respectfully.
Right.
But if you were to be single tomorrow, you meet a girl, she's well oiled, she's down for it. You're going to pull one signature move that in your mind, you're like, she's going to love this. What's that this?
Is it a dish? Shit, fuck it. What is like? Look.
Is it a song? No, Saint?
Chloroform.
The chloroform is my favorite.
No, Saint, no.
That's funny as hell.
Is it your tight Calvin Kleins? It got to be something. There has to be something.
I am so
I hit a shame, bro.
Conversation right now.
No Saint's blushing. Come on, no Saint.
Listen.
You blowing her asshole, like, dude, whatever.
What are you doing?
Man.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What did you say, Ron? What did you say?
You blowing her asshole, like, dude.
That could be it.
I mean, yo, if it's that, man, then hey.
Hold on. Got some.
Okay.
What you doing?
Time out.
Hold on.
Okay.
He's about to go do a signature move.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he left and muted. Damn.
Oh, yeah, because somebody came in the room.
Oh, okay. All right. I
So
I don't have like a signature move, but I do enjoy making my girl squirt. Like that's one of my favorite things in the world. I love just rocking the shit out of her whole fucking body until she just loses control. But I like the build up to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite position for this is imagine, kneeling on the bed, but you're upright. Okay. So your body's all upright but you're on your knees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arms are down sides. And I'm at the side, right? That's where the like most leverage is. So I'm at her side, hands at the back of the neck, and I'm finger fucking her to the point of squirting. Okay. But then I'm telling her, you better not fucking let loose. You better not fucking squirt and make a fucking mess. Right. And all the while I'm still bringing it up. So there's that conflicting information, right? So it's like, don't do this, but I'm making you do it. Don't do this, but I'm making you do it. And then keep building that up until she can't, and then fucking squirting all over the place. And then tell her, look what a fucking mess you are. What a mess you've made. Right. And, following that up with like a little bit of degradation, but at the same time, while I'm doing that, like kissing her neck, kissing her cheek, being like, so it's like, again, you're like mixing the vibes, you know what I'm saying?
That's a nice balance. I like that balance. I could do with that.
So I really like that. And for guys, check this out. If your girl squirts, if you do like any kind of water sports or anything like that, go on Amazon and get a waterproof blanket made for dogs.
Oh.
Right? For dogs who are, they're older and they pee, or for puppies and they pee on your furniture. You can get them in really big sizes down to smaller sizes, whatever. And they're not that expensive. Throw that shit on the bed or whatever surface you want, the couch, floor, whatever. And, it prevents, your surfaces that you otherwise can't clean, like a bed mattress, from getting all messy.
I usually just put towels, but I'll look into that.
Yeah. Yep.
You bring the towels out?
Yeah, I usually bring towels, but
they're made with like a really soft microfiber, so they're not. Yeah, they're really, really soft. Yep. So they're comfortable as well. Yo, Bernard just said I just use a tarp.
Wow. What is this? ID episode? Discovery ID?
Dude goes to Home Depot. It's like, hold up, baby. We're gonna make a quick stop to Home Depot.
If I walk in and see tarp anywhere in the room, I'll be like,
you're thinking Dexter.
Right. I'm like, how about no? I'll be right back. Out the door.
That's
do you use
it's a mood killer right
food there. Do you use food as foreplay ever, or no food?
No food. I mean, I could. I'm not opposed to it, but it's not something where I'm like, oh, what if I used food, right? Like it's it's not.
What about this cucumber?
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind it.
What
my girl's like up for whatever. Like she's just really very much open.
Do you have a song that turns you on? A song that you play that turns you on, that gets you in the mood? There was this one song I remember on the Wild Orchid soundtrack that was fucking amazing.
Prodigy smacked my bitch up.
Oh my god, no,
I
Mr. Justin.
Love that song.
That's not. Is that really your turn on song? Like when you're with a woman in bed?
No, but it's definitely a song that gets me going. Like it's the first thing that came to mind when, like, because songs just don't do that to me. Like, oh, I'm getting turned on because of this music. Like,
oh, see, I'm like that. If you guys want to know what song it is, it's actually in my stories right now. The last reel I did, that song. Okay, it's called 2 Weeks by FKA Twigs. Every time I hear that song, it's like, shit. Oh, I'm single. Never mind. Not yet.
My song is Prince's The One.
The One?
Yeah, his I think his bass player came up with a bass line. His bass player, her name is Rhonda Smith. She was fucking gorgeous. Anyway, yeah, she came up with a bass line that just sounded incredibly sexy. And it just didn't sound just only sexy. There was just this darkness to it. You know what I mean? That just and riding over the beat, it just gave it this certain kind of kinky primal thing.
See, that's what I like about that song too. 2 Weeks is like there's this dark. It's like it's not a happy-go-lucky romance. I love you. It's like it's a little creepy, a little dark. But that song, every time I hear it, I'm like, my goodness! It's on my reels right now for whoever wants to be nosing. What do you guys like? Hand jobs? No Saint left, so I can't ask him. He's getting beat up over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like hand jobs.
How hard is it for a woman to get a hand job right? Is it like any friction will do, or is there a certain style that she should just?
It's funny. I was joking recently with my girl about how just we were like reminiscing a little bit about the first time we were together, and the first time we were together, she gave me a hand job, and like it wasn't to climax. It was just part of the foreplay and stuff. and she used coconut oil. And it was really pleasurable. It was more like a cock massage, which I think is even better than a hand job, right? I mean, unless you're into hand jobs, but I thought it was really, really cool. Like I liked it a lot, and it's not often that I get cock massages. So I was like, all right, this girl's she's got my attention.
She'll do. No Saint is hilarious. He just said he has to go. Family calls. He said yes, hand jobs are great. All right, No Saint. We will see you next time.
But yeah, she gave me a hand job not too long ago, and yeah, I liked it. There's this weird like detached thing. I don't know. Maybe I don't like it because I'm not in control. Right?
I can see that.
Right? It just feels off. I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't feel connected at all. Right? She's just like doing something to me. And it's like, if you're gonna do something to me, put your fucking mouth down there. Right?
I can see that. Have you guys done your wildest sexual fantasy yet or not yet? Are you still young yet? Or have you already done your wildest sexual fantasy? I know I haven't done mine, so I will pass the mic. I haven't done mine.
No. Because, I mean, I don't really have, I mean, I've got like crafty ideas and things like that. And some of the fantasies just can't be enacted. Like you can't do them, right? They require like okay. Oh, check this out. One of my greatest, like, I wouldn't call it a fantasy, but a place that I'd love to have sex is in a planetarium during a planetarium show. Like I love planetariums. There's lighting and like the way the architecture is formed, and they have the little bit of lights all around the edge that go around, and it casts the light up and bounces off the curved surface, and it makes it extremely relaxing, and it fucks with your depth perception. That's the way they do it. Right. So it makes you feel like you're really looking at a night sky. And
that's interesting.
You know, and it's just very relaxing. The stars are fucking amazing. And, you know, there's these comfortable chairs that kick way the fuck back. And I would love to break into the New York City, the Museum of Natural History, and fucking make my way into the fucking, like, I would love to do a heist, right? Break in there, get into the fucking planetarium in the Museum of Natural History and fuck during a planetarium show. But how the fuck are you gonna do that?
That sounds pretty amazing, actually.
No Saint said yes. So much fun.
No Saint said he likes it with baby oil over hand cream. He says, I know what I like. So he knows what he likes. He may not know what women like, but he knows what he likes.
That's where it starts.
I don't think there's anything that, because there was a number of things that I thought was my ultimate fantasy. Then I tried it, and then okay, now I want to do something else. So I think it's, for me, it's a constant high to chase. I guess we can call it that.
That's why I said are you young yet? Is there more to explore?
I don't know. My girl has like a lot of fantasies. A lot, right? And know this, guys, fucking women have a shit ton of fantasies, tons of them, and they're fucking weird. They're, some of them really hot, and so I encourage my girl to type them up, and I'll save them, and just collect the fantasies, and because they're really fucking good, like they're really, really sexy. But they're all like power based, like really power based. Like her fantasy, like she loves the fantasy of being overpowered by a guy. And that's pretty common, pretty darn common.
It is, and that's crazy because you would think it's automatic.
I'm not calling your mind common. You're special. I'm just
she needs to cam up. Does she ever cam up?
No. Okay. And I don't want her to either.
Okay. That's interesting that a lot of women's fantasies are that, like being dominated, having, what I mean? And you would think that it's interesting that it's a fantasy, because you would think that men would automatically come prepackaged, very dominant. But apparently no, because a lot of women, if you read the romance novels or the movies that we like to see that are freaky, like Wild Orchid and 9.5 Weeks, all the guys that we fall in love with in these films are very, very dominant characters. And you would think just You know what I mean? Being a man, you are automatically dominant, but it goes to show how many men are not dominant enough, I would say. Because we're constantly chasing that dominant figure and being turned on by that dominant man. So that means that a lot of men are lacking that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not taught, and like we were mentioning before, like with the social stuff, it's getting replaced, right? Like you can't have a dominant man and be fucking emotional and want to share your fucking feelings. It's oil and water. They don't go together. And it's actually really dangerous if you do. That's where you get the guys flying off the handle, beating the shit out of his women, right? Because he doesn't have emotional control and he's being dominant, right? So that's when shit gets really fucked up. So
Jen, that what he just said right there. Recall that there was a time when a brother was saying that about dudes in prison. Here you have all this incredible masculine energy, but there's this conditioning from being, being around their mama all the damn time. As they grew up in a single parent home. So you have this man who can literally just break something in half, who doesn't have the conditioning to control his emotions. So he ends up in jail. So yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah, it's like the Incredible Hulk, you know what I'm saying? Like he just rage out, and you're like, you're not stopping him.
Exactly.
You're not
it's a train.
stopping
It's
him.
Literally a freight train coming at you.
Yep. So it stands to have emotional control.
Yes, it does, man. Yes, it does. You know what I mean?
But what's funny is, like, with my girl's fantasies, he's the guy in the fantasies. He's a little bit. She likes like a guy was like a little bit jealous, right? And acts on that jealousy, right? And but I'm just like, man, this is like I could play this way. I could act this way and play this way in a scene, right? But I'm not that way at all. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you want to go, like, talk to some dude, go talk to some dude. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not a slave owner. You know what I'm saying?
Do you not care because you're like, well, if you want him, go get him. I don't care. Or do you not care because she's not going anywhere anyway, no matter how amazing the guy is?
No, well, sort of. It's not like that. It's more like I have no control over another human being, right? Just generally speaking, you can't. Like, you literally can't. It's not possible. You cannot control another human, nor is it morally correct. And then on the other hand,
that's why I'm not in a relationship, because I can't deal with that.
Right. And then at the same time, where we talk about like the 75, 85% of guys, I know she's going to go out there thinking she's going to get some steak and she's going to get some fucking spam.
Not even burger?
No, she's going to go out. She's going to get bologna. She's going to get spam. She's going to get hot dogs. And because I know, I talk to a lot of men. I know what's going on. I know what women face out there. It's like, all right, go on, go. It's okay. It's okay.
You have the inside. You have the inside scoop, because a lot of the men that you talk to are just like undeveloped men.
Right. And so it's fine. It's like, all right, cool. Like, you want to go have some bologna? It's cool. And I've experienced it, at some point, they always come back. Always.
Justin, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Check.
The guys that you've coached in the past, what was the biggest hurdle that they had to overcome?
Oh man, their perceptions of self, right? Like, because a lot of them, once you get them to admit to it, a lot of them think that they're losers, right? They have like a really poor self-image. That's what I'll say, right? Really poor self-image, and then they think because of what they're thinking, they think other people perceive the same thing. And it's really hard hurdle for them to get over the fact that no one gives a shit about you. No one cares about what you're doing that much, Like, oh man, I can't talk to her. Oh, these people are going to make fun of me. No, they're not. they don't care about you and your inflated fucking ego, right? They don't care. Go talk to her.
You know, what you just said right there is real funny, because there's a lot of women who are, making TikTok videos talking about, oh my God, so many men are watching me in the gym, and oh my God, there's nothing but creeps. And I'm saying to myself, like, in reality, no one's fucking even paying attention to you in the fucking gym. Like, no one's even fucking paying. Trust me, let 300 pounds fall on your fucking chest and see how quickly somebody's gonna run to actually fucking save you. Why? Because everyone else is more, in tune with their own shit, and so on and so forth. So I think people put way too much stock into what someone else is thinking, rather than
I would agree with that.
what they're doing. Rather than into what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
The other biggest one, or like the most common thing, is it's linked to that. They're worried, especially if they got a girl. They're worried of what she's thinking. Like they're like, if they're dating a girl, or like casually seeing her, they're in a relationship or they're married. Their thoughts are always in, like, trying to be in a position and sort of like preemptively figure out what his girl is thinking, so that he can try to meet that and appeal to that. And I'm saying, well, where are your thoughts, right? Your thoughts are always in what you think her head is about. And that's a complete place of weakness, right? That means she's leading you without even knowing she's leading you. And she's like walking, like turn around, like, why are you following me? Like, what the fuck? Why you keep following me? Right? And that's what happens, right? And maybe at first it's like, oh, like, that's so sweet, right? It's so nice. No one's ever followed me like that before. But then it's like, wait, he's not stopping. He just keeps following me, right? And I don't know why. I wasn't put in this position. I don't want to be in this position, right? He keeps following what I say, or trying to be one step ahead of me, which is even crazier. But it's not one step ahead of me based on what he thinks. It's based on what he thinks I'm thinking.
So that goes back to the happy wife, happy life shit. Yeah. That goes back to that. Yeah. And I agree with you. It's cute in the beginning. And then after, it's like, okay, I'm gonna need a man around here. Like it was cute. Great. But I'm gonna need a man around here. And I think because I have a very like dominant personality, like men usually fall into that quickly with me, that whole following her, and she knows better and she has more experience and she'll figure it out. And men fall into that, but then it grows thin for me, because then I'm like, there's a difference between I've had to do this in my life and I want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, you take over. I don't fucking want to do this. But if I'm dominating a relationship, then those are the reins. I'm going to take the reins, and that's the position I'm going to play the relationship. But then I get turned off after a while, and I start feeling like I'm with a brother or a girlfriend or a roommate, and just bad for everybody.
Or a son.
Yeah. Like, Jen, I think that a lot of women nowadays, they don't talk about it, but I think a lot of women just resent a lot of men nowadays because they feel as if they've been forced to behave in a way that's just not natural for them. So they're very like, for instance, I just cracked a joke about, what we were just talking about. Like I said, in the middle of women's lives, they just be on some other shit. Then they get fun again when they get older. Another woman, climbed up on me and said that, well, you got to understand, the economy is this and so on and so forth. And look what we got to do out here and blah, blah, blah. So of course we're going to behave like that. And I told her, I'm like, yeah, but that's not my problem. That's the problem you're having with the dudes that you're picking, sweetie. Right. I'm not that kind of guy. So, and she basically said, oh, okay, kudos to you. And I'm like, yeah, that energy that you have right there sucks to be you, because you keep picking a guy that you got a fucking son. You know what I mean? Right. Stop picking that guy and you won't feel the way that you fucking feel right now. You're not anybody's mother. You know what I mean? Stop breathing life. Stop putting life.
Speaking life into life
into men, and you'll be okay.
That was very popular on Facebook. You got to speak life into your man. You got to speak speak life. And I was like, get the
But
fuck.
but in doing that, you're speaking a life into her that you don't necessarily, or that she doesn't necessarily want to be in, right? It's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's Jamaican, and the conversation was actually about race, and he illuminated me to a really interesting point. But I see it with the man woman dynamic as well. He said people will usually fill the vessel you put them in, right? So that's like the kid who his thing, I don't want to go down the racetrack, but he was talking to me about like the kid who's expected to grow up to be a criminal is treated that way. He's going to grow up to be that way because that's what so that's the vessel that was created for him. So he's just naturally going to fill it. Right. And that's what he was trying to explain to me. And he said it happens just all too often. So if you're, as a man, you're with a woman and you're creating a vessel for her to become the mom vessel, right? She's going to fill it, right? Because women are adaptable, women are flexible, they're mutable, right? They're mutable energy. They're not a fixed energy the way a lot of men are, or the way most men are, or where they should be. Now they're changing; they become mutable, but they're adaptable, right? They're like nature. They're like water. So you create the certain vessel, they will fill that certain vessel. So if you're like, I need a mommy, I want you to be a mommy, I'm going to treat you like a mommy, they're going to become mommy. And it might be cute for a little while.
Oh my God,
right?
say that again. Say that again.
It might be cute for a little while. And where it might be cute for a little while. And like, oh man, like this is fun. Like I get taking care of him and all this stuff, but it doesn't ever shift out of that. Right. And it's like, wait a second, like all I'm doing is taking care of this guy. And it could be taking care of on a myriad of ways. Like it's never just one way. It could be just emotionally, it could be physically, it could be financially, it could be with who knows what, like whole slew of stuff. But that caretaking energy that will, and trust me, women love taking care of their man. Like they fucking love it. If they're down with you, they love taking care of you. Right. Yep. And so it's like, but if it's all the time, it's like, wait a second, is he an invalid? Is there something wrong with him? Or if it's emotional, it's like, is he still a child? Is this a teenager that I'm dealing with just in a man's body? Like what's going on here? Because the fun is draining out of the situation.
Yeah. It's fucking and it's fucking annoying. Like I loathe it. And these men, they will say it. They will verbalize it. They will verbalize their fucking need for a mother figure. It's disgusting. It's gross. Constantly like needy. Well, if you loved me, well, women's supposed to hold men down. It's for fuck's sake. Like get away from me.
No.
Damn it.
No.
Just really like just a fucking turn off.
Like I am just, and I stand by this. I am terrible at asking for help, and I'm just that kind of person because a man, in my mind, a man is supposed to exhaust every single individual fucking resource before he even asks for help, and sometimes I still don't. I'll just fucking wage through it and just die through the situation because it's just. I think and a lot of people will think otherwise. I really don't give a shit. A man should always choose pride and dignity above all else. Above all else, a man should always choose pride and dignity. Because at the end of the day, no matter what people try to do to you or take from you, if you don't have your pride and your dignity, then you really don't have anything. And far too many men are willing to put that on the chopping block first before they even exhaust every absolute option on their own. They're willing to throw their pride and their dignity on the fucking chopping block.
Oh, I know men who have a network of women just so they can ask for shit.
And
just so they can ask for shit. There's always a woman that they're reaching out to get some shit, whether it's to help them raise the kids or loan them a little money or have a couch to crash on. There are men out here like that.
OG told me one time before, he said, a man without pride ain't a man worth knowing.
I agree.
That's just it. If you ain't got no pride, I just can't be around that kind of person.
Yeah.
No.
No doubt. Man, I was like just reading through like some of these comments. Like, can anyone understand what the fuck Joel Wiggins is saying?
No, I never can. No, I
What-
never can.
like,
we
He
don't,
does that.
We don't pay attention. We don't pay attention.
Yeah, I never
I'm like,
can.
where is going on? He's talking about
There's like-
$62 million and fucking
Yeah.
you know,
there's like
ethics and mob wife scarcity and cat abuse and curses.
It's a word salad. Like it is the quintessential word salad. I never have any idea what's going on.
And I think like if he was drunk, there would be misspellings, but he's not misspelling anything.
Nope.
Like he's actually put a hyphen there. So
a couple of commas there too. So he's like, he knows what he's doing.
I'll try one. There's a difference between mob wife and scaredy cat abusive curses, whether mothered or suffrages. That ain't my bus route.
Okay.
My thanks, Mr. Bro in the hoodie, devil in a satined dress. If I could, I would, but $626 million after tax, that's enough money for the wiles of the economy to bleed misgotten ethics in my sex lived. It better to say I don't ride like that.
These sound like pretty good lyrics.
I mean, he sounds like he sounds like, you know, he sounds like Jen. He sounds like one of them wild characters in a black exploitation pick from the 70s.
Oh yeah,
Loopy Town with a Tom and Jade, because if the airplane falls under the crash and the moon splits in two, we're fucked, brother. And you're like, okay, all right.
I agree with you, Steve. There's a little sense in there, Steve. There's a little sense in it. It sounds like a seance, like he's trying to cast a spell.
You know, but here's the thing: like if you take a bowl of alphabet soup, right, and mix it up, eventually you're going to start seeing words. So it's in our nature to try to take convoluted shit and make sense of it.
That's very true.
Right?
Very, very true.
Like when they said that old woman saw the face of Jesus in that peanut butter in that
and the toast.
Yeah, it's just a piece of fucking toast.
It's fucking toast. All right, guys. So we're out of here. Random, going back to them bitches in the gym. Okay, that talk about everybody's looking at them. Them bitches are damn near naked in that motherfucker. I hate them. Them bitches. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them with the freaking thongs up their ass. The fucking tights they wear on the bottom make them look naked. I'm fucking.
Why are you looking at other women while you're at the gym? You're supposed
to be
because with your hood up.
Because that's exactly what I do. But them bitches is sitting on the machines that I fucking need texting. That's why I'm looking at them.
And you say, honey, get your sweaty ass camel toe off.
Right. You got to be like, how many more you got? How many more you got? Come on, chop, chop. So No Saint said to tell everybody good night. We will be back tomorrow. I got to be in the gym tomorrow. That's why it just came to my mind. So I got to get my ass fed and in bed. It was a pleasure, gentlemen. You know, we learn a lot every single time. Okay.
And I'm going to be on my friend Miles and Kay Zagan's show tomorrow at 1:30. It's called Manhood is a Skill Set. Manhood is a Skill Set show. And it's with
That's the name of the podcast?
Manhood is a Skill Set. It's going to be on YouTube, 1:30 Eastern. And I'll be rapping with him and this guy, Miles Cunningham. You know, guys, you know, pretty decent size within the dating space. People know who they are. They're doing actually Miles and my friend Lucario. They're doing a what's it called? They're doing like a seminar here in New York on April 2nd, right? Yeah, April 2nd. Yeah.
Oh, you in New York?
Yeah. I'm in Brooklyn right now. Yeah, Bed-Stuy.
Oh, dope.
Okay, Harano's
Do or
out
die.
there.
That's right.
So Manhood is a skill set. 1:30. 1:30 p.m. EST. That's what time is that for me?
I don't know.
10, 11, 10, 12. I'll peek in. I'll peek in.
I'll be streaming with like at my girl's place, and she's like, "Can I be in it?" I said, "No, you can't. I don't want people seeing you." And she said, "What about my ass? Can I show my ass?" I said, "Yes, baby, you can show my ass." She's like, "What if I'm like crawling all over you like a little cat?" I said, "Look, you can do whatever you want. You just can't sit on my lap." And she's like, all right. And I said, but listen, I don't want people showing your face because in some of these shows, there's some weird motherfuckers and they will track you down and stalk you. And so, no, we're not having your face anywhere near this camera.
Yes, they will. She could wear a little mask. Wear a little mask and slink around.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So tomorrow's Sexy Saturday. We're doing a Sexy Saturday. Let's do Freaky Friday, Sexy Saturday tomorrow. Mr. Justin, thank you so much for being here. We love when you're here. Okay.
See you guys again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Good night.
All right.
All right, guys, if you're still here for any reason, hit that like and subscribe on the way out. I'm telling you, Freaky Friday, especially when Mr. Justin is here, you got to take notes. Check him out tomorrow on Manhood is a Skill Set at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and subscribe to that page when you're there. Gracias. This is how we get monetized and supported, okay? This is not free. It looks free. It's not free. We appreciate all the support. Don't forget, you can cash out me on the block with Jen when I am off air if you want to support the show. Come back tomorrow for Sexy Saturday. Lily will be back. Haran, No Saint, hopefully. George Cook as well. And I don't know. Let's see if we could get Mr. Justin back. I don't know. But we'll do a Sexy Saturday tomorrow on Saturday. All right, guys. So I see you. Have a great night. Get to bed. Get to bed. Stop thinking about that bullshit. It's over. It happened. Get to bed. Good night.